underdogs, of course, from this weekend, from Sentinels, from Cloud9. And so I really want to see how teams have stepped it up in the last few days.
That's one of the big things whenever we look at these large tournaments, right? We had the, what was it, the T1 tournament a while ago. Now we had the PAX Arena, and those seem to be like the big, we have all these Valorant tournaments going on, but those are the big ones that you're able to like, all right, let's look at the data. Because the other ones may be small sample size, maybe mismatched teams here or there, right? These are the big shows. So with the data downloaded, what are the changes that you're kind of expecting in this world?
Yeah, it was definitely a more exhaustive format for PAX Arena, and so we got a lot more to see. It was unfortunate that the group stages weren't streamed, but some players were streaming their perspective, and so we might not have learned as much. But from what we saw once we got into the semifinals and then to the finals, was that maybe all these maps aren't as defense-sided as we thought. We're seeing a lot of teams being really fast on the trigger and fast on the executes. And, this is exciting because that's what we saw out of our winners last week. We were praising them for their fast executes and ability to get on site. But then also the adjustment coming out from teams is that on the defense side, instead of playing for heavy trades on sites when you make first contact, they're falling back a little bit more, going for the more of like 5v5, 4v4 post-plant retakes. And so seeing those kinds of adjustments and seeing how the balance of maps has been working out, or, well, I guess the balance of maps are in the meta, is probably the biggest change that we've seen.
And I think that's to be expected with respect to tactical shooters in general. If when you watched, shout out to all the boomers out there, remember when Counter-Strike Global Offensive came out, how some of those newer maps happened, and then Rainbow Six comes out, how those newer maps happened, and now we see Valorant. Even if you were down and playing Dirty Bomb and Battalion, right? When you open up a new tactical shooter, defense by default is just kind of the better position because players don't really know the best methods of attack. And then as the game kind of is out longer and people get to watch more video and learn player tendency, you'll go, oh, that's the place where people hang out because it's been mad long, and that's the place where people hang out, as opposed to just guessing and throwing stuff at the wall. So now that we have sort of time in the proverbial gym, we see sort of the change from offense to defense, and I think it's really, really powerful. Taking a look at some of the characters has also been kind of really interesting. So looking at how people are going to approach the game has changed things. Let's take a look at our rosters that we'll see here tonight in our fight night. Pretty Boyz versus Rest Easy. What do you have to say about these two teams?
Okay, we're seeing a lot of Fortnite names coming out. So Thwyfo coming in here. Thwyfo? Oh, I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I'm going to tell you right now. Last time I got his name wrong. I know I got a lot of crap for it. But, we know that a lot of these Fortnite boys can come in and aim with the rest of them. Even though they're coming in from a third-person shooter, the aim is still there. We see it from players like Psalms and others, and so it's not out of the realm of possibility, and these are players that we have to really look out for. So I'm really excited to see them. I'm not really familiar with the teams in general, but I do recognize some of the names.
And that's the exciting part. You were talking about the players transitioning from other games like Fortnite and stuff. And I think we're going to see more of that. Listen, when you're playing a pro game, that's your game. And transitioning from one game to another, outside of a genre is crazy. Inside of a genre is even a little nuts. And especially when you're talking about perspective, you're not going to go from third-person PUBG Mobile to the Valorant Pro overnight. But the type of mentality that allows you to become a top-tier player in whatever game you're talking about generally stays kind of the same. And now that we've seen not just the T1 tournament and the PAX Arena, but we just saw another $50,000 Valorant tournament kind of announced here. We have weekly tournaments here on Fight Night Arena. There's a lot of opportunities, and I think people from other games, if they already weren't queuing up, they're going to be a little bit more interested. So I'm very excited.
I think Riot's roadmap, but the entire Ignition series has been an excellent thing, especially for an esports rollout within the launch of a game. We haven't really seen anything like it. A lot of developers have kind of faltered and kind of fell flat on that front. And so I'm really excited for this, especially with how global this entire initiative is as well. And so you're seeing tournaments in Japan, in Southeast Asia, in Europe, everywhere. there. And so seeing this kind of rollout for an esports scene has been absolutely nuts, especially once you get to see the viewership for, well, the PAX Arena this weekend. And so really excited to see what the future holds for the esports side of Valorant.
Getting into our first game of the evening, it's going to be Rest Easy versus Pretty Boyz. And if you're unfamiliar with Fight Night, first of all, hello and welcome. And the way our format works is we have 2 best of 3s. And whoever wins at the end of the night will retain their spot and be the person that needs to be challenged later on the next coming week. So last time around, we had a team take the victory, and they'll be waiting in the wings. Rest Easy and Pretty Boyz, right here, this is where they play for the opportunity to attempt to beat our champions from last time. Pistol round means that Pretty Boyz are on the attack, and they're going to be going largely towards B, but a little spread out here on the floor.
Yeah, and as we see right now, nice shots coming out from the Sova there, already clearing that out. And so again, another default play coming out, as I already worry if it's the pistol round and you're playing default, it's kind of strange coming out from the offense here. Generally, we see a very heavy, very aggressive push onto one site. But let's see if they check this angle. They do not, and that's going to be 2 pills easy.
No problem. Thwifo finally taken down. And they're a 4-player strong for the defending side. And only the lone Viper, and she's gone. Does take one out before she falls down. Rest Easy with the pistol.
And yeah, I mean, I already said it during the round, but it was kind of weird to play the default play a little bit slow, allow them to get these kind of angles for free, playing over a cubby right there, and not checking that angle is really odd. You got to know the timings on that. You have to expect that someone's there at that point. So we'll see if they can try and be a little bit faster on the take here, because this kind of pace, a lot of teams are going to be ready for it. A lot of teams have played throughout this for the last 2 months. They're in beta, so you got to do something different.
One more time. Push seems to be coming B side. Many players here, all 4 of them, just one Viper to kind of create some noise over there at A. But not a lot of defense here for Rest Easy. Only 2 players defending the B site, and nobody inside hookah itself. Just one defending long and one here towards the back side of the site. Not getting any info. Pretty Boyz really taking this slow.
Does look like it's just going to be a full execute onto the site now. Here comes everything out.
One shot's going to be good for Shenanigans so far. Players are going to rotate, 2 of them coming from the back of Labs. But Almighty Hunter sitting in the corner is able to grab one before Jackson puts them down. 2 players left to look for the retake. Walks past the Sova, gets it done. And all of a sudden, Pretty Boyz looked great. And now at the disadvantage, the Viper player from last time standing has the one-on-one. Has to look for it. Doesn't know the player's defusing. That's a ninja. 2-0 Rest Easy.
Yeah, so things were a little bit dicey there for Rest Easy. Pretty Boyz were able to get onto the site, and one of the big things was that it was a relatively light buy there in the second round during the anti-eco for Rest Easy. You saw that 2 of them were holding onto pistols, and so they were trying to save up, and that's why Almighty Hunter is going to be bringing out an operator here in the 3rd round. Never mind, they're reconsidering it. And now we're seeing a very light buy possibly coming out from Rest Easy.
Not too bad. Red team here going to be playing default for the first time, down 2 rounds. Evened up as far as the guns are concerned. Pure's able to grab one with a ghost. Rest Easy are all excited that they have real guns, and Pretty Boyz just say, it do not matter. The judge, Jerry, and the executioner, easy kill there for Strong Legs, with the standard shotgun position. And now it's a 5-play, 5-man up for 3 for Rest Easy.
I loved how Pretty Boyz played this. The idea of kind of just giving up the 3rd round, right? So they don't invest as much into it so that they can have a really good buy for the 4th, because a lot of teams end up struggling after taking the pistol and then the ensuing anti-eco. But here they kind of go full swing into it. They bring in the judge. They keep their SMGs. They play the proper distances for that and just play default and hope to get anything. And that's huge. They pick up 2 and they pick up the Phantom off of it.
It's one of my favorite plays. I really think round 3, you already have the advantage. The other team's going to come in with rifles. You don't necessarily have to try and one-up them, but Aderson from up. He's able to grab 2, jumps down looking for the forward push, and gets them. Flawless victory. And Aderson with the 3-piece, looking cute, feeling cute.
Yeah, he was really looking like Spider right there coming up top from the roof. But that is massive. We talked about how they went for a relatively light buy. It was SMGs, Judge, and pistols. They ended up winning that out, and now things are getting even more worrying for me at this point because Rest Easy, they're still playing slow. I understand maybe, you know, you're thinking, okay, we got 3rd round. It's going to be rifles versus rifles. We can play default. We can try to play picks at distance, but now you're just letting Pretty Boyz just do whatever they want.
That's life, right?
That's high school.
B site's going to be the push, or at least it would have been if Almighty Hunter wasn't holding down long so well. 5-on-4 already. Good shots from the Vandal. Hookah, though, it's been too long. The Pitzer comes through. And Twifo with 2. And everybody else gets involved. Rest Easy doesn't claim a life 4-0 so far.
That's 2 flawless rounds in a row. Take a look at their money. 9,000, 6K, 6.2, 6.7, and 7.6 for strong legs there. This is insane. I've never really seen a start quite like this. And now Rest Easy, they're going to be able to contend with ARs once again. But sure, you've got the guns, but now do you have the playbook? Do you have something in store to really try and finally get a round win? Looks like, again, it's going to be another default play coming out from them. A lot of information being gathered right now, and they're still holding the 2 over here. Now, here's the thing. No one was holding Hookah, though, so they don't have any idea about a push coming out from there.
With that, I mean, what's the best approach? Because we've seen Rest Easy go through Hookah fast, didn't work. Slow, they got pincered. I guess they have to get more creative on A site. Shenanigans, though, doing a good job of starting things off well for Pretty Boyz the first time, for Rest Easy the first time all game. And before I can even finish it, Pretty Boyz grab 2, 3, and it's an uphill battle one more time.
And we do have the flank coming out from Pure as he gets through the teleporter, and it's just down to Rye here on the Omen. And we saw a lot of mind games actually taking place in those duels right there. It was kind of interesting seeing the aggressive pushes through the Sage slows. Kind of odd. But yeah, I like what you mentioned, right? Like, what do you do and what do you try to change up? Now, the one thing I will say for Rest Easy is that a lot of teams, once they find themselves kind of faltering here on split, a lot of times I think teams kind of just default to pushing over to A when they can't figure out what to do on their offense, right? B just becomes a little bit too difficult to deal with because you have to deal with Cyphers, because you have to deal with Sovas and Sages. While A, it's a little bit easier to kind of go for a default execute onto, especially if you just want to get the plant situation. Rest Easy going for the B site there. I was kind of surprised by that.
5 so far. Hunter is able to play the long B spot with the op, but no one there just yet. He's going to hold this spot. Sage might walk on over. As you see, Rest Easy thought about mid to A, or mid and A, but B seems to be the spot. That's not going to work.
Yeah, that one's, I think that one's out of bounds. It felt like the slightest sliver, like, for him at that point. Again, it's another slow play coming out. The Boombot might actually have done what they wanted. They get the fake out now. It looks like it's going to be the execute onto the B site.
3 here coming from long, and that's going to be it. The other 2 on the other side of the map. But for the defenders, there's only 1 here.
This is too slow. You're already using up your utility, and you're not on site.
And this is what happened to Rest Easy over at Hookah last time around. Pretty Boyz were able to respond because they just got stuck in the mud. And you can see Pretty Boyz here are setting just a Sage. But it's funny because this is Rest Easy's taking this long, smells like a fake. Finally goes ahead and pushes on in, and Pretty Boyz are barreling through the teleporter. 5 versus 5 for the retake so far. And a trade, another one, Thwifo. Pretty Boyz still have the upper hand.
Okay, this is the best round they've had so far. It's down to a 2v2 in the post plants as Fair's now on site inside Thwifo. Oh my god. Has he died yet?
I know that Anderson just got their first death this round. Thwifo, I'm not sure. We'll check this out. We'll check the scoreboard in just a second. That's something that Rest Easy doesn't want to do. Check the scoreboard. They're half 12 and they haven't seen a single victory at all. Thwifo has fallen 3 times.
Oh, okay.
He's farmed the other team. That's why it seems like he hasn't died at all.
Yeah, he's just been absolutely fragging right now. But I mean, take a look at the entire team: 8, 7, 6, 6, and then Strong Legs there on the bottom frag. But that's kind of typically what you expect out of a lot of Sage players who do tend playing a bit more supportive, and you know, they're not the first point of contact a lot of times.
Halfway through the half,
Silence.
and Hunter's gonna just go ahead and do that. That happens quite often down Long B, but Hunter made it look extra routine. I wonder if I'm supposed to pronounce the X in his name. Like, we're my anime fans, like Hunter X Hunter, right?
I think a lot of people have defaulted to just Hunter Hunter.
That's the joke, Jamerson.
Oh, okay. I've never actually asked, and it's been it's too late to ask at this point. So I don't know what the proper, I guess, pronunciation of the title is.
I respect the fierce rejection of weeb culture from you, so I'm here for it.
The thing is, I'm like 100% weeb.
No!
Headshot.
Nice flank from Strong Legs there. And I can't believe how much map control Pretty Boyz have at this point. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's just, I was going to say, it just has seemingly gotten out of control, out of the hands of Rest Easy. And one of the things about tactical shooters is that the game resets every round. Yes and no, money, blah, blah, blah. But you can still feel overwhelmed. Like, for some reason, this round is so much harder than it has been. No chance here. This is going to be round number 7 for Pretty Boyz. And this one was really brought to you by Rest Easy. They just didn't make a move.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Rest Easy, they weren't able to get that Sova kill. It looked like, you know, he had it all lined up with the paint shells and everything, had him trapped in the corner, but just didn't do enough damage. But 7 in a row here on the defense. I mean, we've seen some ironclad defenses before, but this is absolutely nuts. And of course, we have to attribute it to that Rest Easy. They're playing slow. They've got this Viper pick, and it doesn't look like they have any set plays off the back of it. And that's kind of odd to bring in. Especially
There.
if you've got this pocket pick, if you got this strange pick, you're trying to really catch the team off guard with some new strats. Now there's this wall that comes out, but do they check this angle?
The wall's going to separate U-Haul from being able to do work, but not that one. A good trade for Pretty Boyz as they make that a 3-for-1 exchange. The rest of Rest Easy will go on through the TP and not even get the cheese kill. Sage, Fair, the only one alive here.
And that's just the eco res also coming up from Strong Legs at this point. They understand that their economy is so strong right now. So strong right now. They have to keep this advantage coming in. Fair does trade away. It does bring it down to a 2v2 with that. And so the bait into the portal might have been the best play coming out from Rest Easy.
I've never heard that Sova line be more literal. Nowhere to run. You're stuck in that corner, my dude, and you ain't going anywhere. Fair kind of bringing the best look that we've seen from Rest Easy all contests with a nice 3-piece themselves, but unable to kind of bring it out there. And I want to expand on what you were saying about this pick from Jackson here, picking the Viper. So Viper is almost always we don't pick Viper. Watching Pax Arena, I think she got picked once by Tins maybe, and that's it. Why? So the reason is because power level, sure, but she's very specific, and that specificity we're not seeing. This round looks like it might be a little fast, but later on I want to ask you a little bit about where we can see those Viper moves, because this team just seems to be misusing it, and I almost wish it was just a different pick.
Well, I'm not as familiar, especially on this map, with the Viper smokes, with the Viper walls as well. And yeah, it seems like no one really is at this point. But here we go. It's an execute onto the side, and it's done before the first minute or 1 minute mark. And so I'm already excited to see that coming out from them. And take a look. It's a completely different look coming out now from Rest Easy. They've got 2 opening frags. They've traded down. It's a 4v3 in the post plant. This looks so much better, and this is why we're seeing a lot of teams being a lot faster on the executes now.
Absolutely. You just don't give the opponent the time to rotate and catch you in the middle. Pretty Boys have 2 players standing, and this is likely to be the one that they lose. Nice shot from Hunter, who had a good flick earlier. Strong leg stands up. Hunter looking left, too slow. And attackers are on the board. Rest Easy. Better not rest too hard. It's just started.
Now, we'll see. Once it comes down to the ultimate usages, things have been pretty good coming up from Rest Easy. The showstopper for a good entry we saw. Also, the Sova ultimate used there to clear out a lot of the angles when they make the execute onto the B site. Now it's going to be about how they use this Omen ulti along with the Viper's Pit coming out for the next few rounds, because those are the only ones that they've got so far. So we'll see. The Viper's Pit, I thought, might be coming out in that last round. Almighty Hunter, once again, another nice pick with that operator, but Rye answers right on back.
Okay. Little shoulder shots on both of them. And Viper's going to drop the ult. Where did Viper drop the ult? I heard the welcome to my world. There it is. All the way over here. A site. The spike is mid. Sage and Cypher are B. And the spike slowly rotating to A. So they've deployed the Viper ult without confirmation that that's where they want to go. And it's even kind of off the wall. This is an odd Viper ultimate usage completely.
Oh, he got spotted out. Might be just trying to fake here. We do have 2 people over, of course. Jackson catching him.
Not committing to B site. The spike still in mid. Teleports over here to the A site finally, and it's the Omen player. That's why they drew it up this way. Viper Nonsense going to be dealing with the backside of the site. And the ultimate going to protect main. Here comes Strong Legs for the backside alongside with Purer, and they're able to deal with Rye. 2 players left to defend the spike, and they're both on the main side of things. There's the shots into the poison, and Rest Easy takes care of Jackson. The poison goes down. Faye picks up 1, but that's gonna be it. Strong Legs with the 3-piece, and that's love potion number 9 for Pretty Boys.
Okay, that was a fairly intricate play for that one. We saw, of course, like you said, the Viper's Pit being used very early on over at short, which is typically not where you see it. A lot of times people kind of hold that Viper's Pit for the post plant, but that keeps the defenders over at the A site, and it's a long con onto a fake onto a rotate back to the A site. Ultimately didn't work out for them, but it was still one of the better looks in terms of kind of a play style, playbook kind of thing for Rest Easy. Still, though, it's Pretty Boys with a 9-1 lead here on the defense.
Exactly. That's the best round I've seen Rest Easy have the whole time. And I think we've seen rounds where Rest Easy were cleaner and got more kills. That just looked like a play that they have practiced before. And that's what you want to do in general, but specifically with the Viper, Rest Easy coming in hot. They're able to make one trade so far, but Hunter again with the op deals with them. Full commit to B from Rest Easy. We have to see Pretty Boyz make the rotation. Anderson's one of them. And Pretty Boyz, it's 4 against 1. Round number 11 goes to PB.
Yeah, I would say this is all very worrying if it weren't a best of 3, right? If it was like
Sure.
our collegiate nights where it's a best of 1s, the qual to get into the finals or whatever. But this is a best of 3. And so you might just be able to chalk up Bind as a loss and move on from there. And I don't know, maybe not go with the Viper. You need to offer a little bit more entry power, which is, I think, what they're kind of sorely lacking here. They haven't really been able to do as much as I would imagine with the Raze. The Viper just doesn't offer the same kind of utility. You don't have those flashes. Maybe you're banking on the Omen to be able to get the paranoias off for that. But here on the offense, it's just been way too slow for them. They've tried to change up the pace, but a little bit too little, too late.
Not kill my ally.
Nice reses on either side, and FaZe actually getting some nice kills with the scout. Rest Easy just fragging. Big flank here from Almighty Hunter as he switches from long range to close range. And the Sova ultimates are going to be coming on out. Strong Legs gets the kill. Oh, and Jackson gets smacked in the brain, just barely going to move and avoid that grenade. And the double peek is strong. One goes down. It's not as strong as I might have thought. And that one looked like Rest Easy was going to make it happen, Jamerson. But they don't. We take it all away, and Pretty Boyz have 11.
I haven't seen a half like this in a while. 11 to 1. I'm just gonna say right now that's basically insurmountable.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Pretty
really,
Boyz.
right? It's not over till it's over, but you and I can agree. That's it.
Yeah. It's looking grim. I'm a pretty optimistic guy when it comes to, you know, just life in general.
That makes one of us.
Yeah. But at this point, Pretty Boyz, you know, like, we didn't really have to see anything special coming out from their defense. They played default. They were winning their duels. They were hitting all of their shots. Anderson was a solid anchor, of all things, on the Omen.
Yeah.
So right now, if it just comes down to just pure gun skills, it's Pretty Boyz.
Hunter really showed me a lot for Pretty Boyz earlier on as well. And, you know, Anderson working as the anchor on the Omen is something that I've talked a little bit about and wanted to see more of. You have these great thoughts of, like, you know, Call of Duty flank man when it comes to the ultimate, but listen, making a boring rotation from B to A on defense is good enough for me. Like, so we'll see how that one works out. Spike goes down. Pretty Boyz with the numbers advantage. 4 versus 3. Rest Easy spread out amongst the map. 2 coming from the backside, and Ray is going to slowly make her way towards main. Showers the untended location. Both players in backside going up to heaven. And Ray is going to be coming from main. They're going to hit it right about now. And Anderson's going to win the trade at main. But the other 2 win it from above. So 2 alive, make it 1. And attackers are able to find it. Pretty Boyz 1 away from pushing us to game 2.
Yeah, map points already for Pretty Boyz, and this is insane. I mean, take a look at the score line, right? It's hard to tell. Usually with a victory, you have someone top bragging at like 22, 24 kills. Almighty's only at 15, just because of how short this map's been, but also just how well spread out the frags have been across the board for them. 15, 13, 13, 11, and 11. I kind of love seeing that. Just how well spread out the kills are.
Up close and personal with the shotty. Jackson going to slow things down a little bit with the poison pool, or at least try to. Tosses more utility, gets him in the dome. Jackson 1. Nice turnaround, but he's going to fall down. I like the snap click there, but not good enough to take care of the player. Smite getting planted. Pretty Boyz with 4 to defend the post plant.
Yeah, it just didn't clear the boom bot in time. I feel like he could have more than likely gotten a second kill with that Bucky now, but here it is, rest easy. They need to go all in on this defense, and they need to get this post plan, or this map's already over.
One coming from main, one from showers. Main's already dead. One down on the shower side, and it's Sova versus the world, and the world will take Sova. Pretty Boys 13-1, man. I mean, what do you say? But rest easy, caught in a bind.
Yeah. I feel like it was a bind, like a drop of their own setting. Really, because of course they knew they were starting off on the attacking side. They're starting off with that Viper, and I don't know if she offers as much on the offense. Now, the one thing about you can say about Cypher is that like sometimes he feels a little bit awkward
Right.
if you're starting out in the offensive end, but he still has his traps. He still has his tripwires that can be used to catch flanks, and we saw at times that Pretty Boys were finding some nice flanks on their defense, and so that could have been the thing that they could have utilized to try and slow down the map control coming out from Pretty Boys.
Yeah, I mean, for when it comes to rest easy, I don't necessarily. I'm not going to sit here. So I think theoretically, Viper on offense works. I like the idea of her defending the post plant specifically, but you can't. You're losing too much there. I don't think you can lose the raise, so they keep the raise. I'm going to jump to the point. You could have put in the Viper instead of the Sova and still had some of the other options that we didn't see, right? No Cypher, etc. And what we saw to the Viper usually is what we call a specialist character. If you play Omen and you don't nail every single technical aspect of Omen, but you use the abilities good enough and you shoot people well enough, you're good enough, right? Viper, I think you really need to know the ins and outs of the one-ways, the perfect walls, the really like, I watched 7 YouTube videos to get here type stuff. Otherwise, she's just not worth it. She's a little bit lower as far as overall power level is concerned. And that's what we saw there. But not just that, Jamerson. A lot needs to change here coming into game 2. So let's talk about positives that we did like with respects to what Pretty Boys had to go up against from Rest Easy. I like the Sage play. I thought that Faye was on point. And some of the moments from the Omen player were also all right. Where else can we see good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there were still glimmers of hope, right? Some of the rifle rounds looked a little bit closer than I think Pretty Boys were okay with. But Rest Easy definitely had some aim on their side. But I think it just came down to a lot of that economy. That third round buy coming out from Pretty Boys was absolutely insane, where they went pretty much just eco. They went for a half buy. They still ended up winning that round up against full rifles, and they were able to really piggyback off that economy for 6 in a row in that off that third round buy. And so again, you do have to be careful. It was just a large economic lead that they built up early on. Maybe if they can play a little bit safer, if they're starting off on the attacking side, if Rest Easy can, of course, play for more for plants. That was one of the things that kind of made their economy struggle. Oftentimes, there was just the fact that they weren't able to get as many plants as we're kind of used to seeing, especially here on the offense for Bind. So again, just change up how you're approaching the offense. I think you have to commit a lot of times, especially on the eco rounds, of making sure that you get those plants, that you get some trades off, that the money that you invest into the eco rounds actually gets you something else in return.
I agree there for sure. Let's take a look at our next map for game number 2. It's going to be Ascent, one of my favorite spots, and one of my favorite spots because I think Sova actually slays here. Not so much on our last one bind. I think sometimes his arrows can kind of be easily avoided. Whereas Ascent, there are some really good arrows that you can nail on the B site, and the mid is really, really wide open. That said, just in general, there are some interesting mechanics on this map that we don't wind up at B an awful lot. This is almost, I don't want to say A exclusive, but definitely overwhelmingly we find ourselves on that side of the map.
This is one of those maps that a lot of teams have kind of defaulted to playing Sageless, but I think we got to see throughout the weekend that if you're starting off on offense, that Sage is an incredible powerhouse. While we understand that like a Sova on B can be absolutely absurd how strong he can just anchor B by himself. You don't necessarily need a second player there. You can go ahead and send them to mid and then have a triple stack on A. But the Sage kind of negates that, or at least counters it a little bit over on the B site. And so you've got the boost to work with to look into the B site with the Sage walls. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, who's playing on offense, and will they be bringing in a Sage for this?
If there's no Sage, I am going to, if there's no Sage on offense, I buy an Odin. I sit at that wall.
Yep.
And I go, and you can never enter my B site. We've seen it, and the problem is, man, it's cheese. But I don't think, I mean, how do you deal with that if you don't have the Sage boost? I think the answer is you walk away.
Yeah, and that's what we see a lot of teams default to, especially on that offense once they don't bring the Sage. Just kind of completely avoid it, or just try to push through market. We have seen some market pushes if you have good mid control to get onto the B site, but more often than not, it's just they give it up. They give up B site completely and just end up going 5-6 rounds in a row to A site. That makes your offense very one-dimensional. It makes that, of course, triple stack that's already holding over at A work that much more effectively because they were waiting for that. They knew that because of the anchor coming out from the B site.
Crazy stuff here over on Ascent. We didn't see we've actually seen kind of a swing around here where Ascent was repeatedly picked more and more over split. And then last week I saw a lot of split actually. Why do you think people have sort of come around away from Ascent? Also, just anecdotally, Twitter never means anything, but Riot put out a really cool, like, in-depth, this is how we made Ascent. I was surprised to see all of the comments so negative. What's the beat there? Why do people hate this map?
Personally, I like Ascent, but there are things that need to be fixed. That wallbang we mentioned needs to be fixed. That wallbang needs to be fixed, like 100%. B site, you know, it's almost unplayable. You don't even need the Odin. You can even opt for the Ares and go budget and still have that kind of same effect. But yeah, that wallbang needs to be fixed. I think, honestly, at this time, people just need to kind of wait it out and see how this map evolves a little bit more. But fix the wallbang.
Yeah, the wallbang is the only thing that I really have too much anger towards. By the way, we're gonna get into our game just a little bit. Players getting things going behind the scenes. The last one was one of our fastest games ever, so I think players might have been like, "Whoa, thought I might have had more time." But here we are, just like that, popping on in. Rest easy, down one game, and Pretty Boyz on their match point. Again, lying in the wings is China Nguyen, who looks really, really impressive here, Jamerson.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed by China Nguyen, especially with how they approach their kind of practice structure, right? They said it's like almost like a 50-50 split between practicing and, of course, VOD reviewing other teams as well to really learn from them. I think that's what you really do need to utilize. We've got a lot of tape. We've got a lot of tournaments. And so if these are some of the best players in the games, you better be learning from them.
Rest easy this time around, changing a little bit of their composition. No Viper this time. And they do bring the computer man. Cypher will show up. Still an Omen. I'm happy to see more Omen in competitive play, to be honest with you. I think the shadow step is really, really interesting. A site is where Rest Easy are interested. They're going fast, unlike the last time around. Already onto the site, and it's going to be a 2-for-2 exchange. Jackson grabs the extra, and now it's a 2-on-2 overall. Anderson gets popped by a grenade, and the duel is underway. Rest Easy's trying to run away from A site. It'll be a full rotation, it looks like. Thwifo on the hunt.
Yeah, the 1v1, they never able to get that plant here. I believe he heard him, and so he's already rotating over to mid, pushing all the way towards the attacker spawn now, but
nice.
It's that wrap back around.
Love it. Oh, I love it. This is such a good play here from Shenanigans.
Spike planted.
Pretty Boyz has to know. Yeah, there it is. Knife out, running towards A. And the Cypher player here, what's your proposed way to entry?
If he has a camera, of course, just look for the camera, but it doesn't look like he's got it, and so he just has to go in. This is the difficulty of like trying to retake on the A side or even execute on the A side, is that there are just so many angles that you have to clear, and so as a solo, it's so difficult in the 1v1.
I don't like coming in from tree room. I feel like heaven is probably the best approach there in the 1v1. No?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I honestly just don't know how you kind of go for that retake in the 1v1, especially when you have no utility to work with.
Rest easy. They have tied the amount of rounds they won last game. Give it up for Rest Easy. Hopefully the rest of the match can continue to go in that direction. I would love to see a 12-1 in the other direction. That would be totally excellent, but certainly a large ask. I need to check something actually, as we see one kill already pure with the rotation. Ooh, dashes for the gun, comes up short. Has to use the smokes, but ultimately gets traded out anyway. There goes the SMG. And so a 4-on-4 with the spike in mid.
Yeah, they've lost defender control, as you can see. So this rotation is a little bit scary. It's going to come fairly slowly from Pretty Boyz. We'll see how strong this execute is. They busted through the door, and now they're making their way onto the site.
Faye doing a great job of checking those angles, jumping down and looking towards every single spot. Left side is all about Rye, and right side is all about Zachary. Rest Easy bust onto the scene, and the spike's about to go down. Zach here, bottom frag last time around. I don't think they got a single kill. And this time, like I said, for the team it's different, for the player it's different. You'll love to see it. Look at this boost here for the Sage.
Ooh. Zachary did get tagged there. We'll finally bring him out.
Nice job.
For you.
Nice job. You know, it's interesting. Bind. Rest Easy chose the map. Here, Pretty Boyz choose Ascent, and Rest Easy chose attackers on Ascent.
Yeah, I don't think the defense is as easy. Even though we talked at length about the wall being over at B and how solid a Silva can be, the pace at which that teams can play this and how much mid control that offense is afforded here is fairly high. It's really difficult to play mid on the defense, especially when there's a Sage on the offense. You've got the boost over basically by B main that gives you a really good angle into almost trade room. And so you have a lot of mid control. And so you can play more dynamically here on this map, I think, for an offense than most other maps.
Pure shoots through the smoke and is able to grab one, but Shenanigans ties it up. So it's a 4-on-4. The spike is near A. Pretty Boyz not going to full commit, but they will send one. So a 3-1 split between A and B for the defenders. And the attackers here slowly approaching A. 2 from the main side. And it looks like Sage. And there it is. Zachary going to join up with Sage and approach from Cat. And only Cat. Strong legs here. Grabs Zach with his hand on the flame. And Rest Easy looked like they had a shot. And Almighty Hunter. The two players from main just lined up. And Hunter again finds themselves looking strong. 3 kills in total, 2 in that round.
Yeah, it was a really strong round for them. I will say one thing right now, Pure, you know, he is bringing the Jet into this game for the squad. And his tailwinds have been a little bit off. I don't know if he's just kind of like warming up on her right now. But in that last round, he went down just because he ends up tailwinding into a box, getting caught out, and isn't able to get behind cover there. You know, like we're looking for things like to show that Pretty Boyz are fallible, right? Just because of like how strong they were in that last round. So like I'm just trying to be as fair as I can right now. But Nice spray down, gets one. Pushing right through the smoke. Does Anderson pick up two more? That's going to be a third. Oh, wow. What a beautiful anti-eco round for Pretty Boyz.
Wow. The only thing that stopped Omen from getting the ace was the fact that his homie was too quick to number one. 2, 3, 4, 5 goes to Omen. Wow, Anderson. I believe Anderson wound up as top frag last game, if not number 2 next to Hunter. But yeah, this Omen player here really showing us what the position can do, what the character can do. You know what? I'm gonna take that away. He's not even doing Omen things. Of course, this is the one that he's gonna really make the move on. He's just firing and shooting and playing damn well.
Yeah, there was like one set play I think on Bind where they had the Cypher cage set up over at showers, and then he had that boost on boxes where he ended up getting like a triple kill. There was like that, but that is kind of the dynamic defense they allow. Shenanigans starts it off. Almighty Hunter, that's a huge pick, but they've already traded it back.
Wonderful play there. Anderson and strong legs. And again, that's something you can take to your pugs, right? You're sitting here in mid and one of your players gets shot down. Everybody else from the other angles, just walk out. You'll be able to double, triple peek, and there we go. We get the 2-for-1 exchange. And a nice look there for Pretty Boyz as they have to deal with 2 players trying to attack here for Rest Easy. 2 versus 4. Gonna be tough.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for an A push at this point. That honestly, the only option they have, and they have to run into the crosshairs of strong legs. He knows that was the spike down. He knows that the last player is there, just backs away. Pure isn't able to get his kill, but now Zachary down to 47 HP, and that's what I'm talking about. In these rounds, you got to be able to salvage them. You have to at least get the the plant.
I like the Phoenix try there. Strong legs ultimately takes care of him. Phoenix is a character that wants to be proactive. And if you just sit on your hands and wait to like get aggressed on, your molly doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Your flash doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You obviously can't ult, right? So he's a character that has to be making the first move. So it kind of seems a little like crazy for him to like plant, throw a flash and run in. But that's kind of the best approach. Unfortunately for him and his fans, Pretty Boyz waiting for it, hid behind the wall, waited for the sound cue, and just took him on down. Easy peasy. And so Pretty Boyz, losing the first 2 rounds of the game, have now responded with 3 straight.
Yeah, it's definitely a stylistic difference to most Phoenixes that we see here on this map in particular. Because we're used to seeing them playing heavy entry and you know, being able to come up with the first frag. In particular, taking a look at players like Sinatra and Sentinels on that Phoenix.
They're going to come on in one more time, and one more time. Anderson grabs a multi-kill. 2 so far, but Shenanigans is able to jump on in and Dirty Harry him down. Luckily for Anderson, he's got strong teammates, and his teammates strong legs. 2 kills for the Sage player here. 4 after 6 for Pretty Boyz. Anderson and strong legs combining for 18 of the team's 26 kills.
And that was just a fast response coming out from Pretty Boyz. Rest Easy were able to get the 2 players down on the site, but they were delayed so much, you know, eventually after those trades that they were never even able to get the plant. And that's what I was talking about before this match. You need to do something else. Even though you take these round losses, you need to shore up that economy. You need to be able to at least secure the plant as well. You know, a lot of times on these eco rounds, that's kind of what you're hoping for.
Joke's over.
Pretty Boyz here got to prepare for another B site push. Rest Easy going to bring on the Phoenix ult. Phoenix gets taken down, but just for pretend. Faye falls down for real. So does Zachary, and so does Jackson. Anderson and Hunter, 2 for 1 respectively. 2 in the corner. Anderson puts down 1. Can't win the secondary trade, but the team does. Anderson and Hunter combined for the full house, and it's 5-2.
Yeah, Anderson and Hunter. This is an absolutely insane duo. Now, we were talking about how the B site, you know, can't just be held. solo by a Sova. Having the Sova play over at A is definitely a different look, or A and mid. But just having these strong anchors on both sides, from Anderson being over there, over by B, for Almighty Hunter playing mostly over by A. And of course, Anderson is also backed up by Thwifo. Like that's an insane anchor duo over by the B site. And again, we're seeing the solid defense coming out from Pretty Boyz. What an entry, or excuse me, what a first blood for Hunter.
He was waiting for that. He read that. He understood that that's where that boost was going to come. And he also trusted that Pure was going to be watching the angle on the ground. So nice teamwork play. Pure is able to grab one, dash on back, a third of HP to the Jets name. Pretty Boyz, 5 strong, rest easy. Even after the Sage res, only have 4.
Cover going on.
Now, what's the play here for them?
Rotate.
They do have the Phoenix all the way pushed up to B main. He's going to push through that Omen smoke, but there we go. Might have almost gotten the rotate out, but here it is. Pretty Boyz are already responding now.
Shadows traveling.
Away from B main, now towards mid, making a lot of noise over by A, and Sage can hear it. Both players are here, right? Takes down Pure, so nobody's on site. Omen has transported behind them, though. Strong legs from the top side deals with Mr. Jackson. And the spike plant has to be defended by 3. Oh, just barely off the mark there. It's Hunter.
Heads up.
Zachary with a good shot as Hunter pushes on up. Thwifo, though, is strong. And 2-on-2. Through the smoke pushes the Phoenix. Misses the flash. Anderson misses no such thing. And will grab the defuse. And after 8, Pretty Boyz own 6.
And that was just a beautiful retake coming out from Pretty Boyz as well. You saw that the 2 pushing down from heaven, the drop down and check dark. Their coordination was stellar. They landed boots on the ground at the exact same time to check dark, while they had someone pushing and push basically through tree room, clear that angle for them. That was just, they've coordinated on this, and they've done this kind of retake before, and that was beautiful to see.
Yeah, Pretty Boyz look like they're out here drill running. You know what I mean? When you play Valorant, you got to be on the mark. Hunter off the mark there. And it looks like a relatively quick on push. What was that, homie? Shenanigans. Hold this L. Pretty Boyz feeling real good about this one. They're pushing out. They're pushing in. And they're pushing rest easy on down. 3 kills, 4 kills so far. There's the 5th. And Pretty Boyz lucky number 7.
That was not lucky in any way at all. That was just pure domination on that round. And you can see that Pretty Boyz like have a very strong read on how Rest Easy are playing this and how much they can actually get away with it, because it was every single site just pushing up. Every single defending site just pushing up aggressively at the exact same time, because they know that Rest Easy have been playing this a little bit slower. They've been playing a little bit more default at times, and they're not expecting Pretty Boyz to go very aggressive there, but they were able to do it. And take a look at these positions. Finally, someone does get punished for it. It's going to be Anderson.
Anderson going down is a big deal. That's the top frag. But you know what? I'm not going to fault Anderson for that. You push until you get pushed back. And Anderson's got a pocket full of lunch money. Finally sitting in detention this time around. 3 versus 4. Rest Easy with the upper hand for the... Not the first time. They won the first 2 rounds. Unfortunately, they haven't won one since the first 2 rounds. And this could be the turnaround in round number 10. Strong legs gonna make me feel bad about the caster's curse type thing, and then find the res after the fact. So very quickly it becomes a 4-on-3. Pretty Boyz with the numbers advantage, and the retake on B is underway.
There we go. Ooh. Fair. Getting tagged through the box, goes down. He can't even respond to that. Strong legs. It's been massive here throughout this entire match, and honestly, I can't think of a single player on Pretty Boyz that I can really say haven't been doing anything. Every single player has been contributing hugely to every single round win.
Yeah, bottom frags, Pure and Hunter. Pure is the one that kind of holds these angles and then jet dashes back, letting his teammates kind of fill in. And Hunter's been sniping time and time again. Like there he is with the op one more time. These players are just holding their angles. It's Anderson strong legs that are looking for the aggressive pushes, which is why they have the high numbers. But absolutely remember that you are not your KDA.
Yeah, I mean, even though we saw the Market Beast there, 666 coming out from Pretty Boyz in terms of frags, finally Hunter goes down. It's just the simple fact that strong legs and Anderson, they've just been shutting down pushes. They've just been fragging out so fast that no one else can pick up these kills. It looks like it's just a kill race to see who's going to be first in top frag at this point. But this is a really good start for Rest Easy at the very least, taking out Almighty Hunter, and now they're going to try and find an entry onto Nevermind.
You hate to see it. And that one was just unfortunate. Everything going down the drain here for Rest Easy. Strong leg stands up and then sits down. Faye with the op shot. It's just a one-man comeback. 10 HP in a dream. Healing up. And look again. Look again how Pretty Boyz is approaching this situation. I would love to see them not push it all and just stand here, because they know exactly where the Sage is. And to quote Sova, nowhere to run.
They also know where the spike is, spiked down over at B main, and so they just need to hold this angle. He's got 20 seconds. They don't need to play for this at all, but Pure, he thinks he needs to chase, and he will, and he takes him down. Wait, the animation actually went off. The animation actually went off. Oh my god.
Oh, no! That's where I type /FF.
Misclick? Misclick?
Oh man, no, you hate to see, oh no, that hurts. Like that one, I love to make fun of people, but that one just hurts me a little bit. Thankfully, it was oh no, that was round 11.
Yeah, it was not the last round.
Oh no, it's even worse! Strong legs and Pure just want to get this over with.
Oh, Thwiffle even got the wall bang over at the B main.
I hope you're not lactose intolerant.
I'm not.
It's the cheese, baby.
I'm not. I fully embrace the cheese. I love cheese. Wow. So Rest Easy getting 100% more rounds this half than they did in the last map. This is how you play around with stats.
I mean, Rest Easy in their if I used to write like tournament recaps for SK Gaming.
Yeah.
And sometimes your team gets spanked, but you still have to kind of like write about it, Rest Easy definitely improved in the second game. Phenomenal first half in comparison to the first game's first half, as they doubled the amount of wins they were able to bring at the spot switch.
Yeah, I used to write for Team Coast. Early days of League of Legends. So I feel you. I feel you.
Team Coast. Yeah, the blue and white. Yeah.
Here we go.
There.
Yeah. 10-2 at the half. Let's see what Pretty Boyz have just to close this one out. Pretty aggressive push through mid coming out from the defense. Rest Easy. Never mind. They're just going to back up off that wall. The shorty is good for one, but that's all it is.
And that's the story of the shorty. Forever. I don't know if I can say that on broadcast. Spike down on Cat. Zachary goes for the flash. Shot through the wall. Shot through the dome. Rest Easy have the upper hand here, believe it or not. Pretty Boyz 2 alive and no spike down. B is the rotation, and Rest Easy got there first. Still on the backside, though. Literally 4 HP on the Sova player. Might be able to get one, but will certainly die after that.
Yeah, they got to check this angle. Remember last time they didn't check this angle. Anderson ended up picking up a triple kill.
Yeah.
Headshot.
And there's the angle check. And there's the other angle check. And that's a defuse. And Rest Easy will do no such thing. 10-3 as the defenders grab one.
But this is where Pretty Boyz, with their massive lead, can play around with the economy. They got that plant. And so, again, they can just go really light in this round. At least pick up some armors at the very least, because going into the third round, they'll have a full buy, stronger one up against Rest Easy. And we've seen what happens in the rifle rounds. Anderson and Strongleys just go absolute beast mode with those ARs. I think, like, if you're Rest Easy, right, you have to commit into some sort of half buy, something here. You can't just hope to, like, play for the economy, because every single round matters at this point. You did not build up enough buffer here that you need to win every single defensive round.
Totally agree. Absolutely. Only 3 rounds left to go, you know, before Pretty Boyz just move on to face China Nguyen.
Oh.
Anderson here starts things off good for the red team. Nice one tap on the top. And Ryan Zachary are going to do well defending. Flyflow, though, answers back, so a 3v3 joust for sure. Shots are good in mid. And Pure looks strong. 15 HP, though, and no Sage in sight. So now we've got the 2v2. Jackson gets there first. And just like that, the duel.
And that's massive. This was just a full eco round coming out from Pretty Boyz, and they've gotten 4 kills along with the spike plant. If they get this round win, it's just over for Rest Easy. They're not going to be able to come back economically at this point. That Pretty Boyz just run away with the rest of the rounds here.
Faye has been one of the stronger players for Rest Easy all night. Has come up with a quadra kill, don't forget. Multiple triple kills as well. The wall's up, the slow's out in dark, and that's going to be able to grab half. Will it be able to grab the full? No, steps outside. Beautiful play. The utility on display and the gunplay to match. Faye is the last hope for Rest Easy.
I didn't think the slow orb would spread as far as it did. I thought he was just going for that right dark corner, but, you know, it was good. It covered all of it, and he was able to just play around that. Having the wall, having the slow orb versus basically nothing on the other end, but still, Pretty Boyz did massive economic damage to Rest Easy. So we're seeing 2 light armor buys coming up from Rest Easy there. So Pretty Boyz are going to have full ARs, full heavy armor. This is if Rest Easy can't hold this, it is over. If they can win this, then there is a hope. But Pretty Boyz might just be able to completely walk away with this if they get this round win.
We'll see if that's the case. Man, after that round from Faye, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Trying to find the Rainbow Six angle there. Can't get it. A-site, LOL. Camera on the brain. Hunter with a nice shot. And he finds it. 5-on-4. Slow push here from Pretty Boyz.
Jackson had the judge, right?
Yeah.
And he did no damage to him. Okay. Pure gonna push up aggressively with that tailwind. They're onto the site now, and this is gonna be a free plant for them.
Ooh. Up top. All right, there's a switch around. Okay. Pure must be playing at like 900 sensitivity.
Yeah. He's at like 2400 DPI with like max sens. It looked like when I first started playing FPS.
I mean, you know, you don't have to be super slow. Hiko famously plays with a high sense, but I think, you know, if you're playing Jet, you got to be a little bit more twitchy there. Here's the all-in. Hunter, strong legs. Hunter! 3 pieces for the Sova. Flyfo cleans it on up, and the attackers are able to get on into there, and it's 11-4.
And we have to remember, now they've got their lost round bonus reset. So we're gonna have a looks like what's gonna be a half buy coming out from Rest Easy. It's just gonna be a force up with the money that they have. And yeah, like I said, this is where things just completely run away from you. I don't think there's really much of a chance for Rest Easy as Pretty Boyz. They're approaching these rounds, I think, well. They kind of understand the buys that Rest Easy are going in with. They're not underestimating their buys at all whatsoever. And they're just playing the standard and default and winning their duels and then making the entries onto sites.
This looks like it's kind of devolved a little bit, in all honesty. I'm seeing a lot of deathmatch style play right now. Kind of coming on crazy, but 11-4 is tough, but not out of it. All of a sudden you hit 5 and 6 and it becomes doable. So Pretty Boyz shouldn't be resting on their laurels anytime soon. The 4-4 even matchup is now a 4-on-3 in Pretty Boyz' favor. Players here trying to deal with the Omen in mid, and Shenanigan grabs it with the stinger. And now 3-on-3.
And now, while you said like we are 100% seeing glimmers of just regular pubs, we're still seeing that Pretty Boyz are playing smartly.
Yeah.
At that point, Jackson, of course, third round, fourth round in a row where he's playing judge over by Tree Room, and Pure didn't push him. He understood. He's probably going to be there once again with another judge, and so he doesn't push that angle whatsoever, backs up off of it. That could have been a free kill for Jackson, but he doesn't actually get that because, well, there's still an information read coming out from Pretty Boyz.
12-4. Semi-final point here for Pretty Boyz. Should they take this one, they wind up going up against China Nguyen, who have been a powerful team. And of course, our Fight Night format means that they had won last week. Really strong lineup up and down for China Nguyen. And so Pretty Boyz matching up against them should be a good match, in all honesty. Rest Easy, like I said, not out of it whatsoever. But if they win this one, there's a lot of Valorant to be played in order to get to that point.
I've also talked about the economy. We saw this, what should be the final round buy coming out from Rest Easy. They just really had nothing to work with. Oh, Anderson tries to get a little cheeky there with that jump up, but he goes down.
Needed the teammate there. You take that jump up with somebody pushing the regular angle at the same time, and all of a sudden it's a little bit different. Pure able to dash onto the site, has one player in as well, and a little bit of help.
I know exactly where you are.
But somebody gave him a corpse. And so it's 3 players for Rest Easy versus the 4 trying to defend the post plant. Omen does what he can. That's actually really cute.
I think that's the first time Pure has actually pulled out the knives this match.
Yes.
By the way. Oh, man.
That's that.
If you're trying to win, I don't know if you're if you're worried or if you're looking at this match and you're like, oh yeah, respect. I think you're just kind of angry that you just didn't get as much information as you wanted. We saw 2 strong defensive holds coming out from Pretty Boyz, but we don't have a read on what their offense looks like because it was such dominant defensive ends.
I gotta ask the admins if China Nguyen's ready. That was a real fast game 1, man.
Wow. Yeah. It's been an hour.
Usually,
it's been 1 hour.
I mean, man, that was, and I really want to focus on the positives here. We have this nice intermediate tournament, and I'm not here to kind of dog anybody. Clearly, Rest Easy needs to go back to the drawing board and learn a little bit more. But Pretty Boyz here came out with a vengeance, and sometimes we finish match number 1, and I'm East Coast. You're the lucky guy over there on the West Side, and it's 11 p.m. and I'm like, ooh, okay, it's 8 o'clock. These players are are screaming on through. This was impressive.
I mean, I popped an energy drink in the freezer just before this, and now I think it might just stay there or actually just be moved into the fridge, and I won't have to use it for the rest of the night. But that was an insanely fast match. Those were very strong defenses. What was it? 11-1 and then 10-2 on the second map. I think, yeah, definitely this is kind of one of those matches where you do have to go back to the drawing board. I think the Viper pick that are on Bind just quite wasn't it. If you were going to play Ascent as well, you have to learn the kind of ins and outs and the strengths of starting off on the offense for Ascent. You need to play that a little bit heavier, and you need your entry fraggers, your duelists, to do a lot more work. And we were not seeing that coming out from the Phoenix. Even though, like, I believe during the Sentinels and Cloud9 match, Sinatra on Ascent wasn't doing as well on the Phoenix, but Sinatra just does things where he still creates space while he's not fragging. And so that's something you can learn, right? It's not always about just fragging out as a duelist. It's also about getting onto the site, helping your team just get into the site, and then from there, allowing the rest of them to succeed.
For sure. A lot of fun stuff there. A lot of stuff to learn. And I mean, if you're a competitive team, I think game number 1 was a little bit rough. Nobody wants to get stepped on like that. But game number 2, I think, was kind of a little bit more appropriate. You found yourself kind of halfway through a team that was clearly the upper hand. You learned some things that worked. You kind of learned some things that definitely didn't work. And you can absolutely move on. So with that said, rest easy. I hope you guys do nothing that your name implies and work hard, because I think the team does have kind of like a nice clay base to really make something impressive with. With that said, we've got our next match coming up. China Nguyen going up against the winners here. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Fight Night.
The operator in the next round here, which he is, of course, prone to do for the team.
Oh, this time around, Meal with the collat. Mid is going to be the play, and I think this is the answer, although Hoppin seems to be the one with all the answers.
If the team that wins the first 2 rounds are able to convert that 3rd round, then yeah, that is great for them. But fairly regularly, we do not see that happening. Incredible pushes through, picks up 3 before he finally goes down.
Big frames have 2 now as Brimstone has been rezzed, and Meal takes down Nerfed. Sees where the second is, drop, and shot like, oh!
Looked him right in the face. The craziest part is that, like, you know, he no-scopes the person who's like, what, 30 meters away?
Submachine guns here for mix-up. Normally, I disagree with this, but I don't think they have the rounds to play with. Nice shots coming out, and I can't say it a 3rd time. You know what, I will. Nice shots coming out. Hoppin with the triple kill. A little bit different. Everybody in their family coming up this angle, though. Stellar's waiting. 3 so far. Players left to defend the retake by all 5 of mix-up. Recon won't destroy the information given, but the life taken away. Use Nano. Gets 1 kill for their team. Information gathered. Hoppin drops low and drops 2-3 players.
Gone off before he went across the corner there. Melio up high, finds 1.
And there's the second, finds the 3rd. We have had so many multi-kills. I don't know if I like to push with the 2 players in mid here looking for B. CP2 is going to do a good job of finding it.
Teleport.
Okay. Cute. CP2 has woken up. Gets the kill. Now, Omen has found the flank here with that ultimate. Oh, an errant shot. He does get the kill and 1.
I just have faith in their pistols.
That's me. It doesn't always work. Long's gonna be the fight. Cool ABC grabs one and the double.
But that's where like the counter mind games play come in. Now, of course, Cool ABC starts it off, takes out Elite Infinity. That's a huge start for the defense.
I like that play here coming out from Cool ABC. I think if you're gonna play the Jet, that's one way to do it. Play it aggressively and say no way. 3 for Jet already. And Illinois trying to get in their way and doing a damn good job of it. 4 players standing. In the noisy Jersey, no, they lined up, and No Dick has 1 shot and 2 kills. Nice job, gets it after the fact. Poopy head up in heaven, finds the headshot. Beautiful accuracy again. He does it with a disgusting crosshair.
Here we go, going in. Ooh,
Oh.
ABC playing with his food right now.
And getting eaten himself.
1v1 though, 6 HP on Fly Cow Moose. What?
So Fly Cow Moose, maybe we can just dice it.
We watched them, I think, on the mini map. And so at this point now, oh, he just busted through.
How did
Fly
that
Cow
go
Moose.
down? How did that happen?
Toronto started it all off. That operator paying off. No Dick was able to find one.
Oh, the 1 tap from Ancion, waiting for the other 2. There's the secondary and the 3rd. Incredible stuff coming out from the Jet player. Jets, nice. There's the 4th. You see that often at higher levels. And so players have to be a little bit more aware of the flank potential. And yeah, that player's really killing it now.
Oh. Cool ABC getting caught out there. Colbar. See, you got me doing it now. I'd actually get the ace here.
Koblar with Quattro. Trying to find number 5. 2 players here, along for the ride, guarding the spike. No reason to move. There it is! Ace of Koblar. Coin will be walking up mid. Crit gets the last hit on Fly Cow Moose. And Ancium again find themselves at the helm, pushing forward. The mobility of Jet comes in handy when looking for the entry frag kills. Leah takes out 1, Leah takes out 2, and the 3rd. 4 and 5. Count the ace. All for the Sova player.
The operator in the next round here, which he is, of course, prone to do for the team.
This time around, Meal with the collat. Mid is going to be the play, and I think this is the answer, although Hoppin seems to be the one with all the answers.
If the team that wins the first 2 rounds are able to convert that 3rd round, then yeah, that is great for them. But fairly regularly, we do not see that happening. Incredible pushes through, picks up 3 before he finally goes down.
Big frames have 2 now as Brimstone has been rezzed, and Meal gets down nerfed. Sees where the 2nd is, drop, and shot like, oh!
Looked him right in the face. The craziest part is that, like, he no-scopes the person who's like, what, 30 meters away?
Submachine guns here for mix-up. Normally, I disagree with this, but I don't think they have the rounds to play with. Nice shots coming out, and I can't say it a 3rd time. You know what, I will. Nice shots coming out. Hopping with the triple kill. A little bit different. Everybody in their family coming up this angle, though. Stellar's waiting. 3 so far. Players left to defend the retake by all 5 of mix-up. Recon Bolt destroyed, the information given, but the life taken away. Use Nano. Gets 1 kill for their team. Information gathered. and drops low and drops 2-3 players.
Gone off before he went across the corner there. Melio up high, finds one.
And there's the second, finds the third. We have had so many multi-kills. I don't know if I like to push with the 2 players in mid here looking for B. CP2 is going to do a good job of finding it.
Face the port.
Okay. Cute. CP2 has woken up. Gets the kill. Now, Omen has found the flank here with that ultimate. Oh, an errant shot. He does get the kill and one.
I just have faith in their pistols.
That's me. It doesn't always work. Long's going to be the fight. Cool ABC grabs one and the double.
But that's where like the counter mind games play come in. Now, of course, Cool ABC starts it off, takes out Elite Infinity. That's a huge start for the defense.
I like that play here coming out from Cool ABC. I think if you're going to play the Jet, that's one way to do it. Play it aggressively and say no way. 3 for Jet already. And Illinois trying to get in their way and doing a damn good job of it. 4 players standing in the noisy jersey. No, they lined up, and No Dick has 1 shot and 2 kills. Nice job, gets it after the fact. We head up in heaven, finds the headshot. Beautiful accuracy again. He does it with a disgusting crosshair.
Here we go, going in. Ooh,
Oh.
ABC playing with his food right now.
And getting eaten himself.
1v1 though, 6 HP on Fly Cow moves. What?
Welcome back, folks. Here we are in our second half of the fight night. This is where we really turn up. It's fdot and it's Jamerson. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, but I'm a little worried here. You know, whenever you typically have like a fast start to the day, that's not good signs for the rest, right? We're gonna have like just absolute, just like slobber knockers coming out. And it's just gonna be like 13-12s down the line. So sometimes, you know, as someone who's worked as a TO and stuff, like that's when you're like, oh man, is this about to be a long night? Even though it was indicated to be a short night. But still, this should be a good matchup. Again, we're seeing some like Fortnite rivalries being played out here and stuff like that. And so, yeah, really excited to see you. Actually, never mind. I was thinking Psalm was still on China when he's not. But, but yeah, really excited for this.
Yeah, it's fun to see these players kind of come back here again, just dropping the format real quick. China Nguyen won our tournament last week, and so they're here again. Pretty Boyz had to play through one other team in order to get the privilege to play against China Nguyen. And whoever wins here tonight will hold on to the table. And next Tuesday, we'll come back with a new challenger. So China Nguyen, like we said, Cute Fat Boy has been one of the go-to players to watch here. D-Cop is a guy that you know pretty damn well. Pancakes, very, very strong as well, next to the other 2 players for sure. And Pretty Boyz, we just got a chance to see them kind of definitely do their thing. So how is D-Cop and the squad going to fit into this equation here?
Well, we saw last week coming out from China Nguyen that there was a drastically different style from what Rest Easy were doing. Rest Easy were playing a lot of default, very slow, kind of attack-oriented rounds, while China Nguyen were very fast on their takes. We noted how incredibly fast their executes were and how effective their executes were. The one thing we will say is that, you know, sometimes the post plants got away from them. That's something that they're definitely going to be, I think, looking towards and working on. And so they've had a week and, of course, more tape to really review over this weekend to try and shore that up. And so this is definitely going to be an even matchup. The Iron Defense versus, you know, well, I guess unstoppable force versus immovable object, right? Like we're going to see the result of that.
Yeah, I want to see how fast these players play, because I think that a lot of times our more advanced players go in really, really quickly and expect, especially in these intermediate tournaments, to kind of just blitzkrieg the opposition, right? We're in so fast that you guys don't know how to respond. But then when you come against these more solidified units, that sort of evens out, and you kind of get teams that know how to respond to the fast pushes. So I'm really eager to see what type of tempo we get to see in this game, because last time in match number 1 between Rest Easy and the squad, we definitely saw high octane action for sure.
Yeah, I don't think with the players like Strong Legs and Thufo, along with Hunter, you can't play it slow. You just cannot play it slow up against them, because their aim was absolutely spot on. You need to be able to utilize your smokes, all of your utility, your blinds, to get entry and win those duels up against them. Because I think if you're trying to take 50-50 duels, that's not what you want. You don't want to take the 50-50s. You want something to tilt it in your favor, and that's what we weren't seeing out of Rest Easy. They weren't able to get good flashes to really hinder those really strong power players.
Got to see a difference in at least a little bit of the composition. That's the word I'm looking for, and at least the composition here. And I want to take a look at the maps as well. I think we'll be getting those in just a second. We have our players kind of getting ready behind the scenes and trying to figure out where they're going to be lining up for sure. So last time we saw Bind and Ascent played. This time around, we're going to start on Ascent here. So we talked a lot about how important mid control was. We talked a lot about B site and how you can kind of cheese out that hallway. Do you expect anything different here now that we're in the finals?
I think it's going to be more of the same. We saw in that last map that both sides were playing the Sage. I think this the importance of Sage overall just in this game has been solidified. This was one of those maps where people were playing Sageless, but now I think you just kind of want to 100%. She's going to be that 100% pick rate once again. So I think it depends on who starts off on defense, right? Like who starts on the offense. Again, China Win, they didn't get to see much at all in terms of the offense for them. Like they got almost no information just because of how dominant that first match was. And so I don't know what kind of adjustments you can make because you don't have a proper read. You did see, I think, a little bit of a difference in how teams will typically play that B site where you had the 3-2 over on the B site. We saw that last week, China Win, when they were playing it, it was just the Sova solo on the B site with the Odin holding it down. Are we going to see that the same thing coming out? We did not see that coming out from our other team, though.
Yeah, a little bit rough there. You know, when we're talking about these sort of things, we keep bringing up the fact that you don't have much information to really run off of. Playing default is how these players kind of got to this spot, and I don't mean default looking for picks. I mean just without any info, not fast, not slow, just kind of play it round by round. And that type of strategy, having that in your arsenal, is just as important, I think, as it is to really go, okay, here it is, Sentinels. We know their play style. Let's counteract it. You've got to be able to adapt and adjust. Esports is nothing if not a world of adaptation, and I think we are going to see that out of China Wen here as they start our first game on defense on Ascent.
Yeah, and so we're seeing the same composition coming out from Pretty Boyz. They're not changing anything up. It's going to be China Win who have a drastically different composition. They're starting off on the defense, and so they're the ones that are running the Sageless as they've got a lot of utility. They've got the Brim, they've got the Sova along with the Omen and that Phoenix, and so they've got a lot of blinds, a lot of smokes to work with here.
Love to see the Brimstone play. One of my characters that I think Brimstone is almost necessary. 3 smokes? Come on now. Mollied off is going to be Tree Room, so the A push is difficult, to say the least. Mid, on the other hand, looking strong. Tighty gets a couple of okay shots through the wall there. And B push all the way up. Tighty, shock darts 1, shock darts a 2nd, and it's good enough for the kill. You love to see the pop tart, and cute Fat Boy defends the backside well versus 1, but not against the 2nd. Pretty Boyz have 2 strong versus 3 on defense. They're not even going to go for the plant. They're going to look to get aggressive and it's Omen versus 3. Spike down. I'm going to say there is no way for this one to happen.
No, they know exactly where he is. They've got a smoke ready for it. They're waiting to hear the spike getting picked up, and then there it is. The flash comes out, but they aren't able to pick him up.
They missed the spot. Now all of a sudden the advantage bar goes up just a little bit. Fake plant. 28 HP on Decop as he's going to walk on in. 13 seconds is all they need. Pancakes from the other side takes him down. China win. The challengers fall down and don't get it.
Yeah, and that was just, I think one of the issues with the B side that a lot of players might have is just that with the angles that the defenders are able to fall back to, there are so many that you have to clear along the way just to get onto the site that it buys so much time. You saw the entirety of China Win ended up showing up at site by the time the duels were over. And so it becomes difficult to push the B site like that right now. We do have that first shock dart coming out. It doesn't connect, but this is kind of what we were expecting to see. The Sova playing over by the B site for China Win.
Doors closed. A site still looked at. One player the long way by main. The other player coming up cat. And everybody else gonna push up through mid and come around towards heaven. A lot of noise being pushed. And with the smoke not committed toward, or the spike, excuse me, not committed towards A, Pretty Boys are pushed all the way up mid. And the spike at home? Not thrilled about this execution right now.
I think the idea was just to try to get that first pick on what is typically the lone player at the top mid. And then fall back with that gun, but they just were not able to find anything. There we go. Trades away, though, 1 for 1.
4 on 4. The dust not settled just yet. Good push by Pure. And Pancakes eats it. Decop with a 3-piece. Switches out of the rifle to the handgun. And it's DXN that's able to get it. Good shots, and it's 2. Nice stuff. A full house. And that's the second round. The champions stay on.
Now here we go. It's going to be the rifle rounds, and we know how deadly the power players on Pretty Boys were with the rifles. Continuously seeing triple kills, quadra kills coming out from a lot of their players. And so we'll see if China Win can weather the storm here. Now you are going to see, of course, that Odin coming out from the Sova. Should be playing over by the B site.
Yeah, so this is the B side's basically shut down. Sova can see through the wall thanks to the sonar dart, and then kill through the wall thanks to the developers. No shade, I swear. Pancakes in the shady spot next to the tree room. That worked out real well. And Pretty Boys have 5 alive, playing this one slow, again with the push up mid. And China Win has just been giving them mid over and over again, and it's been paying off.
And we saw them do that as well last week. That they were okay with playing very defensively through mid. And so I don't think anything much is changing, but here we go. Pure starts it off, gets a huge pick, is going to go ahead and push through that molly, and he's right onto the site. Already
in. Jet play out of Pretty Boys has been fantastic. A lot of characters you can kind of just play, you know, default, play as Counter-Strike with fancy grenades, but Jet's not one of them. And I've really liked the approach Pure has taken. Pure does it, gets a kill, but an ultimately 2-for-2 trade. 3 players versus 2, and Anderson gonna cut it down to a 3v1. China Win might lose their first round here.
Yeah, that was a massive paranoia that hit. It looked like everybody on Heaven. And so nice peek coming out from Pretty Boys. And yeah, this is, I think, where we're going to see some warning times for China Win. We didn't really get to see too many rifle versus rifle rounds in the last matchup for Pretty Boys up against Rest Easy. But we knew that they were just absolute fraggers. And so that's kind of what we're seeing right now, that you do have to be careful of the aim that you need to play around your utility. You need to play a little bit more defensively. And so we'll see how China Win adjusts. They were able to hold on to this Odin coming into this round, though. And so if they want to, they can try and go for possibly like a 4-stack over at A with those pistols, with the sheriffs, while allowing the Sova to just anchor on the B side by himself.
4th round here.
That goes there.
Fun guns. Everybody's armed to the teeth.
Shock dart.
This is the entire strat here for me, and if it works, I'm not going to knock it. And so that will do a good job of denying Pretty Boyz that entire entrance. Not be in total, because you can push up mid and then opt for market, but that walkway through, what do we call that indoor fish market? What do you call that entrance? Tunnels?
Just market.
Market?
Yeah.
So what about mid-market? Got it. That entryway is going to be denied. So you have to come in through mid and defender spawn in order to make it happen. Pancakes gets the headshot through the wall. Decop gets the body shot up close and personal. Punishes Pure for the gameplay I was just applauding earlier on. Decop half HP, has to play it careful. But China Win 5 strong. Pretty Boyz only 3. And they have not committed to a site just yet. But with the paranoid being shoved towards the back, it looks like it's a B site push up from that mid connector. And Taiti able to make it happen, even with the fallback.
Joke's over.
Odin gets 1. Odin goes down. Flash is good onto the planter. And the defenders take round number 4.
There we go. That was just a nice play coming out with that Odin being able to fall back to the site, trade away effectively with that. And so that was a huge save, basically, coming in from that last round beforehand that they were able to do. And so nice round for China Win to be able to pick up there, especially just because their economy, needs to start getting going. And so being able to win that round was massive for them.
This goes here. Yes. This
Here.
What's the decision there? Is there ever a time where you don't want to close that door?
It just kind of depends because, of course, closing it means it's going to be broken. You don't have the time. So it's all about just kind of knowing the timings. If you want to delay someone eventually and you see that push, then yeah, for sure. But here we go. It's going to be an execute onto the A side coming up from Pretty Boyz.
Loud and proud. Pretty Boyz were able to grab 1, but Decop, the star from last week, already 2, a 3rd. Slow on the 4th. And Anderson will win versus Pancakes. Decop has 2 angles to cover. Gonna see the left-hand side, grabs the 4th. And the 5th is lying in wait, but the teammate grabs it. A quadra kill there. Followed up by Cute Fat Boy getting a cute kill. Round number 6 here on the way. And I gotta say, Pretty Boyz haven't really been dropping the ball. I enjoyed that execute. They just got owned by Decop. I enjoyed the last round, and they grabbed the round before that. So this isn't dismal. We're only 5 in. 4 versus 1 seems a little bit rough, but in all honesty, isn't when you realize rounds kind of come in 2s.
Yeah, we're hearing that Odin once again over the B site, but I do appreciate how China would have been changing this up just a little bit because we said that it could be the solo anchor, right?
Yeah.
For the Soda play there, but they're still keeping 1 over. But oh my god,
it's just pretty watching that. Oh, it's just pretty. Pretty Boyz with the pretty plays. Spoke too soon. Sorry, buddy. Strong legs in a chair. 4 players versus 4. Well, let's say 3.1 because Cute Fat Boy with a hair of HP here, trying to defend against the rotation to B. That's an important spot to hold down with the adaptation of the Odin defense. We'll keep that in mind as Pretty Boyz almost here. The entire team ready to push on a B, and that's what they'll do. Oh no, 1 player, 2 player. Cute Fat Boy has no HP, but it's more than the opposition. Finally gets taken down after dealing with 2. And Flyflow. Big kill there with the Sheriff.
Yeah, he's only got 23 HP though, and he's hoping that the wall bang might net him something, but now with time dwindling down, they will actually push up and finish him off. Another nice round, but they took some heavy losses there on China Win. They do recover the Odin at the very least.
But look at that shmoney. Really not concerned about it. Just buy another Odin, no problem. It's like a rich kid and a broken iPhone. Just grab another one, no big deal. Pretty Boyz, they're not hurting. They've got an op on Hunter, which Hunter with the op in the hand is a much different player than the 2-6 slide would kind of represent. Anderson negative when he was picking up 20 kills in 13 rounds last time around. So we'll see how this one changes now that Pretty Boyz have some gas in the tank, so to speak. But CFB pushing up. Oh no.
Ooh. It only takes that one round where you learn that you don't want to push that anymore, but nice push coming up, but it's traded away. Now it's the man advantage coming up for Pretty Boyz as they've got the 5v3. Remember, it's a stageless comp on the other side.
Top side, tight T, can't get it. And Anderson waits it out, takes down DXN. A rare misplay there from DXN, who is kind of an Omen professional. I really enjoyed watching DXN's Owen play there and just didn't check the angle for Anderson and gets cut down with the ult.
Still though, despite this round loss, you were talking about it, the economy for China Win was really strong. And so they can take this loss and this would actually be massive if China Win comes back and wins the next round. That's Pretty Boyz with their economy reset. So they have to, they have to play the next round very carefully. And so now we'll see if you can at least get the save.
Yeah, he's just hanging out there in the corner. No problemo. And that's going to be good. No kill there. The save is strong. 5-2 after 7. Pretty Boyz with their first round win in a jump. How do they push on forward from here? Because this is a great win. This is the more important round. This one. If Pretty Boyz win 2 rounds in a row, China Win are hurt. Right now, China Win will have all their guns. Next round, should PB win, then China winds up kind of halfway there with a half buy. And then if they go into the third on a good streak, China's kind of screwed and we're tied up basically. So this is a really important stretch for Pretty Boy. And we'll see if they're able to make it happen. Phoenix with the ultimate popped just in no man's land. Gets taken down by Pure all the way up top.
Had to use it for something, right? You had to try to use it for something. Almighty Hunter though, with the operator. Hasn't found anything quite yet. Default play right now coming up from Pretty Boyz, and of course that's kind of the response you have to give when you hear that Phoenix Ultimate coming out now. But now they've regrouped, coming over here to A site, and this defense is a little bit more scattered than we're used to seeing from China Win. There's only 1 player on site over at A currently, and so they're gonna have to rotate fast. I want to see that Owen player just back off the site, just kind of give it up for free at this point, because I don't know if you're gonna be able to trade well. Oh, Titty,
Able to grab it.
I know exactly where you are.
3 players try to push out a 4, and it looks like A site's gonna be the go. And Sova, doesn't even matter, it's pancakes, grabs one that he can see, shoots the other that he can't. And the wall of flames comes down, revealing Decop, and Hunter eats it. 1 player left, Omen versus the World, and the World is able to do it.
Yeah, those trades just came at the absolute wrong time for Pretty Boyz as they were getting ready for that execute onto the site. And so I think spotting out that first player over by B main with that Odin, taking him out for free, allowed China Win to just, get back onto the site so absolutely for free at that point. So now this is what I was talking about. It was going to get a little scary for Pretty Boyz, but hey, luckily, you know, they do have some money. It's just one player that's going to be a little bit down in the dumps there, and they'll still be able to contend against China Nguyen. We'll see if the operator can get more done here for Strong Legs. Oh, excuse me, not for Strong Legs. For Hunter.
Yeah, see, for me, this is such an important stretch because I already labeled down what would happen if Pretty Boyz were able to win that one. But if they lose that one, they still have weaponry and money. So they're coming into this one a second time. And they're winning it. Good stuff coming out from Hunter from a distance. One player left, DXN trying to take on 3 Pretty Boyz.
I know exactly.
Oh, we cut it down to 2. 1 in mid, 1 on B. And the B plant is going to be the call. DXN has got to rush it, trying to no-scope through. Now, if you're DXN, do you go for this? Because if you lose, they have an op.
100%, I think you go for it. He actually dropped the op back at mid and he picked up this AR. Oh, wow. Getting some decent damage. He's actually down to 1 shot now. Smokes out, gets the first spray. The transfer is not going to be enough, but that was so close. 32 HP. I don't know if it was the distance or what, but he was almost 1 shot there to the Phantom. And that was just basically maybe 1 bullet, 2 bullets off for being able to clutch up that round.
Impressively played. Really impressively played. That's one of those plays where the instant NT in chat, right? Like, even the opposing team might say nice try. Really cute stuff, but just 1 bullet short.
Oh, you know, barely missing that spray.
I finally get the graffiti now. The dog is so afraid of the noise.
It's a cheese dog.
Oh, no.
Oh, he ended up getting him too.
Oh, through the wall. That one, you just get so mad. Like, Thwyflo gonna eat it. Pure with the knives out. Blinded. Still grabs 1. But the double peek is good. Teammates follow up. And we're able to trade out 3v3. But DXN with a superior angle. Grabs it from the right side. Paranoias. And backs off. Trouble is everybody else going to push on up. DXN grabs it again.
Found them.
And still alive. 1 versus.
This is.
Oh, no.
Shock dart.
I hate it, but I love it.
Very impressive that DXN gets it, the spike down, but I mean, you know, gets shot through all the cover in the world thanks to the Odin. Really? Huh? I'm. It's a Cypher ultimate. So when players delay the defuse, it's not always for BM. Sometimes it is. If I'm delaying the defuse, it's for BM. But you want to go out and you want to collect your guns, and you want to let the diffuser who gets a ultimate point for defusing be the right one. Usually you see it defaulted to a Sage, but there, interesting that the Cypher ult is held in high regard here.
Yeah. Don't know why they opted for that one, but you know.
Furthest behind, I suppose, went from 2 to 3, but
it can be good for like post plants as well. So
okay. A slow round this time.
Yeah, I think I think Thwyflo learned his lesson there. No, never mind. No, he pushes in. Oh, this is. I'm pretty sure that was just like vindication. You know, it's like, yeah. All right, this duel is mine now.
Yeah, no, this round, he was like, I'm going to push. His teammate said no. He did anyway, and he got the kill. And if they lose the game, he'll feel good about it. D-Cop from the right, and cute fat boy from the left. Right up the middle, grabs 2 with the sheriff, and puts him in jail. DXN and teammate versus Anderson. That's pancakes over there. On the brimstone. Anderson. Yes! Oh,
The timing on that. The timing on that. But you know, you got to say that was still a pretty decent eco round coming up from Pretty Boyz. Being able to get the 3 guns out. They're gonna make the Sova player just a little bit more wary about how he plays that, because he's been narrowly missing the wall bang onto Thwifo there, and so we'll see if they change up how they play that now. Decop once again going to get aggressive with that run it back.
No one here at A main gets hit by the tripwire and finds 2 lurking in mid. So this is going to allow DXN and him to push on up. Flash one more time around main and nobody's here. You can see that angle being held by Pretty Boyz, and it's a smart angle to be holding. Pretty Boyz making it all the way up mid. This is actually a really good look for PB. We'll see if they're able to handle it. Nice shots. The 5-on-4 is making their way towards B site with the spike. And there's 3 China Win players on the other side of the map. Brimstone's ultimate is bad. And B site is strong. 3 players left for the post-plant takeover. And Pretty Boyz have it down.
The spike.
Yeah, Pretty Boyz recognizing the lack of presence over at mid, especially top mid towards defender side, and so they do finally take advantage of that. I don't know exactly what happened because the way that China Wins were playing that defense on basically their mid presence was the Cypher camera that they were using. If it was actually caught out, they were able to clear it and then make the push up, but it looked like China Win just kind of forgot to check their backs there. And so a little bit interesting, but hey, they were finally able to make that adjustment for that mid play. They tried it early on in the half. It didn't work out for them. They finally came back to it and ended up being a crucial round that they needed going into this as we swap sides.
Pistol round one more time. Trying to win a couple away from moving us to a game 2. Thanks for joining us here on Fight Night. Tom and Jamerson on the mic. And China Win, the champions from last week. Pretty Boyz, the challengers, had to come through a different team called Rest Easy, beat them in 2, and that gave them the privilege to play up against China Win, the team defending their spot. Decop gonna look for the entry, pops up, looks left, gets hit from the right side. Pure, a top fragger for Pretty Boyz so far, as gets the kill. Tight T and Cute Fat Boy, though, answer back against Pure, and it's the 4-on-3. China Win questioning their A push. Do they return or do they rotate, Jay?
I think you just kind of lurk right now for the time being, because you can definitely make a play once again for that A site. So that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to wait about another 10 seconds before they start rotating back on over to the site. But Pretty Boyz, they're not rotating off.
I like this call from Pretty Boyz. Pretty Boyz pulled an okie doke against Rest Easy, where they half rotated, faked it, and came on back. So they're ready for the play, ready for the shots. Strong Legs and Anderson are able to make a good play here. Thwiflo cut down to a quarter, and it's 1 versus 2. Slow play. 1-on-1 Cypher mirror match.
It's that HP difference.
Yeah. Both barely alive, man.
Oh, you hate to see that.
Doors down. 45 seconds on the fuse. Don't forget.
Oh!
And the 1 shot. Don't forget either. Pretty Boyz still in this one. Don't forget it.
He tried to go cheeky. He tried to just kind of go for that aggressive push that you couldn't have been expecting, and then it ends up just getting domed. You did not need to go for that risk at all whatsoever. You could have played time, played the objective, and had a better time securing that round, but he got a little over aggressive and got punished for it.
B site is the push here for China Win. An aggressive one. And the reason we're going to see them push B site is because it's early enough where they have some guns here, but the Odin might not be such a
No
threat.
charges left.
Medium. Not slow, but certainly not a rush. Slow down here.
Revealing area.
Wow, all of them.
Found them.
About 75. And China Win now thinking twice about this approach. Instead, going to head towards mid. One player's going to go all the way around, and that right there, the Brimstone guy, he's looking for the flank. That's all that is. That's a defensive play here. Under a minute left to go on the clock. Gotta commit to a site. And it's going to be A. Slowly, methodically pushing on in here. Catwalk is the approach. All 5 on Cat, by the way. Probably going to split up here. 2 players through 2 players through the door and 2 players up. It's going to be 3 barging onto the site. Decop sends out the flash to the right, cuts him down onto the left, and now checking dark. Won't find it. Sees a player on the other side. Door is closed. 2 players from China Win to defend the spike plant. 2 players on Pretty Boyz to look for the retake.
Yeah, I like this approach, coming in from different angles here, and they already knew that they had to worry about the man over at Tree, but it was the man on Heaven that came down and shut this all up, and that's going to be a second round here in the half for Pretty Boyz.
Nice play there. Yeah, nice play. They were able to kind of find that one, like you said. I think you mentioned the most important point there is how both players had 2 different coverages at the same time, and so every check covered, every I dotted. Easy play. And Pretty Boyz, who trailed pretty much during the early stages, find themselves now only down 2, which is easily even. Game number 1 was real quick, and Jamerson kind of set the table here and warned us what happens. So I think we're in for a barn burner.
Yeah, the issue, the composition that China Win ended up bringing is that once you swap sides, if you didn't build up a big enough buffer going into the half, that it's going to be your offense that suffers without that Sage. And we'll see what kind of adjustments they make. They're using their utility well. We saw that in the last round, exactly how they got into the A site, right? With good flashes, good smokes, able to win out duels with that. But now it's becoming, how do you approach B without that extra coverage coming up from Sage, without that boost? When the defenders can play a little bit more passively, give up ground on the site because they've got the Sage, they've got the heal difference that they can work with.
Revealing area right here.
Great Sova arrow. That's what I was talking about. The difference Sova can make on Ascent. So many open spaces waiting for the arrows. And so many China Wen players waiting for Pure's bullets. Flawless for Pretty Boyz, and they've got their legs underneath them, and looks like they're ready to come on back here. 8-7. Pretty Boyz down by 1. Changes for Pretty Boyz. What's different now? Why are they able to find these victories that they weren't able to earlier on?
Well, yeah, once we swap sides, I think I touched upon it earlier. It was just, again, they could play their defenses a little bit more passively. We saw, of course, during PAX Arena, a lot of teams playing for the post plant, and instead of trying to just like stand and hold their ground and play for the duels and trades, when you have this Sage, you can try to play for trades, but you don't have to full commit onto them, right? Which we saw a lot of players do. Oh, we're seeing that wall bang from the other side now. As the aggression coming up from Pretty Boyz getting challenged and punished there.
IT with the Odin one more time. On offense, though. B-side's empty. China Win. Okay. Walks in, no problems. Pretty Boyz on the other side. Gonna have to make the full rotation, but only 3 strong.
Yeah, this is just going to be a save round at this point. Coming out from Pretty Boys, they could play for the X's, especially with the flank that Strong Legs has. So I love this angle that he was able to at least find for himself.
Not alone either. Strong Legs and Pure. Certainly ready to go. Strong Legs a big streamer in his own right. Has a big following, mainly FPS, CS, Apex, the like. But looking pretty dominant here on the stage today versus trying to win. Yeah, it's a nice skin, Pure. I like it too, buddy.
Yeah, for the kind of variety of games that I've casted over the years, it's hard for me to remember exactly where I've met everyone, casted everyone. I know I've cast Strong Legs across 2, maybe 3 different games. I want to say like Blackout and Apex Legends, if anything. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all by his performance. He's been an absolute standout player across the 3 maps that we've seen him so far.
Good stuff. Yeah, he's 10 and 11 in this one. Not as strong as showing for sure, but the squad does find themselves down a little bit, but competitive. And no part of me thinks that A, this game is over, B, we can't see Pretty Boys win it, or C, even bring us all the way through. I think we've got a good matchup here. And I'm excited because I often say I like to see the SmackDowns. I got the SmackDown in match number 1. Now, give me the tug of war, baby. 1, 2, 3 on the clock, 16 in total, 9 of them with China Win's name on top. D-Cop's gonna push on in, the execute button is pulled, and Strong Legs gets the kill on the cute fat boy. Pure answers against Tighty. 5 still alive for Pretty Boys. 5 still alive for Pretty Boys. 5 still alive for Pretty Boys. And at the last moment that Pure falls down, 8 to 9, nearly flawless. And the money feels good on the defenders.
And that's one of the first times we've seen China win. Have that hesitation in their game plan. We saw they executed and it looked good, and they were starting to just, fire all cylinders. And then all of a sudden, the judge comes out, Strong Legs gets a kill, clears D-Cops, run it back. And they just faltered. They just stayed there over at A main and kind of started peeking out one at a time. Very uncharacteristic coming out from China Win. And I want to see if they clean that up, or maybe now we're finally starting to see the cracks in the armor for their offense.
Default from China Win this time. And this is generally expected. Throw a couple eggs at the wall, none of them stick. I guess we'll just play for picks. I would rather see them play it fast. Not because I think it's dangerous to play for picks, although I generally don't like that strategy, and those that have watched could definitely tell that. But just simply put, China Win has looked better when they play quickly. Information gathered. Tighty's gonna throw it on down. Good shots, 4 players on site. Tighty lagging behind. Flyflow and 1 standing here in the backside. Location will be revealed, so the Cypher player has to move on out of there. Gets the shot first and second. Anderson also gets 2 Strong Legs reses, but cute fat boy keeping the dream alive with the 3-piece. Someone gave him a corpse. Spike planted. China Win 2, Pretty Boys 2. And we'll see how the tango goes.
Out of charges.
Yeah, the strength of the spam here coming out, but he's got caught with the arrow out. And it's just timing's unfortunate. Strong Legs coming up huge, finishing that all off with the double kill and the round win for Pretty Boys.
Strong Legs make that one look easy. Really?
He's been making a lot of his duels look easy, and his aim has absolutely. I've been amazed by it all evening long.
Gotta agree. And just like that, tied at 9.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Rifles for Pretty Boys. China Win. Not so much. Likely to be a 10th in the bucket for Pretty Boys, giving the lead for the first time all night. The reason I say that is this is going to be an eco round for China Win. We'll see how that goes.
Ooh.
One down. That dragon skin is so extra.
Yeah, one of the things here is that we just haven't seen as much operators, right? Out of this. But if we had, like, China doesn't have the answer for it. They don't have the Sage to really try to control that room without the boost over by basically B main. And so now we're seeing why I think Sage needs to be 100% pick rate on every single map.
Enemy tag.
It just rolls on through.
What is Brimstone checking Twitter? Just, all right, there's a robot, guys. Doesn't do, okay, man. China Win. Gotta wake up a little bit there. All right. Pretty Boyz.
Why destroyed?
Feeling good. Oh, that's a cute camera angle. In the trees, no one can see it.
Right here.
B site, interested. China Win. 3 here. Brimstone still at the place I made fun of him at. Hasn't moved just yet. But the executes call. D-Cop flashes, walks on in. Anderson still sitting in the backside. Gets 2! And with 3 seconds left, the Waifo's gonna grab the second last one. And that's the game. Pancakes with the turnaround headshot. Does go down after. But Pretty Boyz grab that 10-9 in game number 1.
Boy, things are getting really worrying now here as we're not seeing the same kind of commitment to executes. But it also comes down to, also, like I was saying, defenders. Typically now, a lot of teams are playing this a lot more passively on their sites, giving up ground, playing their angles, falling back to more power positions here. And, you know, not the typical kind of, I guess, the 50-50 spots that a lot of people might hold. And so China Win, they have to spend their time, of course, clearing those angles, despite what we're seeing from the God view. And so China Win are having difficulties, really, just, again, fully committing onto sites because they're not finding people in the typical spots that you would normally find them.
Smokes up top, smokes to the right and the left. China Win trying to bust onto the site, but playing it slow after their utility shove. DXN has to make sure nobody's coming from the flank. If there would be, it'd be the Cypher, but far away over there in mid. 4 players standing for Pretty Boyz on the site itself. Looks like 1 up heaven, 1 in dark, 2 on site otherwise.
Smoke's down.
D-Cop getting ready. Flashes left-hand side. Gets shot from the front. 3 players still just coming right up front. And Anderson with the trips. Both Omens. 3 pieces. And the spike grabbed. B-site is tellied.
I know exactly.
And a cute Omen execute. Nice job, but it's 1 versus 1.
Oh, does he hit the shot? He does.
Easy. Nice stuff there. Nice stuff there. DXN on top of the world, 16-12. China Win lost the lead last round, now ties it up, looking to take the lead back. But everyone even. Pretty Boyz, lower end players not doing well on the money, but everybody geared at least for this round.
You know, I think that was like the 3rd time we saw that set piece coming out from China Win onto A, right? D-Cop entries with that flash, pushes left, clears that angle out, clears out left sight. And that was the 3rd time in a row that Pretty Boyz did a good job of shutting it down. Here we go, a different play coming out from China Win here as they push forward. They've already got 2 kills, might be a 3rd, no. It's still the man advantage here coming out from China Win. Nice trade, though, finally coming out from Pretty Boyz, but still, it's going to be a 1v3. They've got the spike. They're rotating this on over to the B site.
I'm Pretty Boyz, if I'm Strong Legs, I'm chilling. I vote safe here. So the two bottom fraggers on Pretty Boyz are out of money. And although Strong Legs isn't one of them, he can give his Phantom to them and then buy for himself, right? And I think that's just the right call. 1 versus 2.5, Cypher barely alive, I think is totally doable. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's insurmountable, Jamerson. But with the situation of the money, I think you save here. I like this call.
Yeah, you have to back away. Try to remember if there was an operator in play, if it got stolen away. I think that's what he's going back for to check to see. And so, again, with this back and forth, every single credit counts. And so we see the safe exit even coming out from China Win here, making sure all three of them go out on one side. And now here we go. This is the matchup that we were expecting. It's to really go back and forth, round for round, blow for blow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not a moment too late either. Pretty Boyz, a lot of times we'll kind of see these comebacks, if you will, way too late when it's 11-3. And if they come all the way back, awesome, but that's such a rarity. I think Pretty Boyz kind of jumped back into this one. I believe it was 8-4, and they were able to kind of climb their way back into it. That's doable, even though it seems late. Kind of like 2 minutes to midnight type timing. Decop flashes, decop cashes.
Cage triggered.
Pretty Boyz cut down by 1. Only 2 players defending A. And if China Win play fast, they get a free plant. Rotation, question mark. Interesting, the spike going so far away from the plant site. At this point, Pretty Boyz have made their rotation. Now a 3-1 split, AB respectively. And Omen pushing up to play defensively. But China Win are here, and there's Decop's ult. Strong Legs makes the call, and everybody be running. Smokes up top, smokes to the left, but everyone down in front. Decop takes care of it. 3 players die to the hand of the Phoenix, and he was in the ult. Omen gets the teleport flank. Spike down. China Win healthy as an ox. And with 2 players left for the retake, Pretty Boyz with an ugly round.
Yeah, the big difference there for this, I think it might have been their 4th opportunity to go for this set play. Again, Decop going in with his usual Phoenix play, was that, of course, they had to worry about the that Omen flank, but also Strong Legs, I think, had a false sense of security that he might have been able to get the slow orb down in time, but Decop just, of course, soldiered through, was able to make his way in. And so with that, China Win, I'm gonna set this to map point.
That one was a little easy, if you ask me. China Win now on match point. Pretty Boyz have to get back into this one, and look at that money. That's what I was talking about. Trouble for Anderson, trouble for Pure. Okay, a bulldoggy.
And we saw the Bulldog, like, did some decent work during PAX Arena. We saw a lot of players be able to do that. Oh, you have to hit those shots. You cannot miss that. And a player that we're just commending up and down. And last game, missing an uncharacteristic shot there. And that could be the map round loss. We don't have the Sage Rest for Pretty Boyz. Now China Win. They've got the man advantage. They've got the Brimstone ultimate to work with. And so they're starting to rotate this on over to the B side. And I like this play.
That's just the danger of being the op shot. You get that kill and you start off the round in a 5v4. It feels so much better. But you lose that kill, and it feels like you lose the game. That said, as uncharacteristic were your words, I've got to agree. But if you're the team Pretty Boyz, you trust Hunter to make that play as much as every single time. Otherwise, it don't work. Pure grabs another one versus 2 of them. And B site is the call. Spikes down though. Wyflo peeks out. And perfect time. Oh, to the right. He didn't even see him. Jumps right, gets the kill. Defenders win the round against all odds. Strong Legs kicks him down.
Yeah. We are seeing some lack of, not lack of coordination, but it's just, they're not as in tune with each other, it seems like, this week around. They're still going for these set plays. They're trying to push with the same kind of aggression and timings and tempo that they had last week, but it just seems like, you know, they're just not in tune. Now, part of that also comes down to, like, sometimes your confidence gets shot a little bit when you're not able to win out the aim duels as comfortably as you were the last time around. This is purely has been a 50-50 in how the aim duels have been going down in a lot of these rounds. Now the Knives are going to come out for Pure here, and China Nguyen are of course privy to that, so they do have to deal with that.
D-Cop's been playing real strong here. Wall goes up. China Nguyen were ready for the high peak. You saw them through the wall. Everybody looked up. Loved that attention.
Oh my God.
Strong Legs with the good weight. And just like that, Pretty Boyz are going to bring us to a 12-12.
Here.
I mean, what can you say? It's just timings. Both players looking away at the absolute wrong time. We got peaked. Get taken right now. D-Cop goes in, but the Knives are there, and Pretty Boyz will tie it up 12-12.
And you know what? Pretty Boyz make it look pretty, right? The one taps from the Knives out of Pure, the delay on the push from the Sage. That was a good looking round of Valorant. And we find ourselves here in the one away from it, man. So the way this one works, it used to be sudden death, but now it's a little bit different, kind of reminiscent of some older attack shooters. Why don't you break down overtime for us, Jamerson?
Yeah, wait, I'm actually, are we doing the win by 2? I believe is how we're doing it now. And so exactly. It's no longer just kind of coin flip. You have to win 2 in a row, basically, to secure that. But it is, of course, 5,000 credits every single round.
And you swap, which is nice.
Yes.
So you don't just get boned if you are attacking or whatnot. Anderson gonna make sure cute fat boy kind of doesn't wind up good there. Teleport out of the Omen.
Here.
There's a cheeky updraft as well coming out from Pure. And so they're gaining more and more ground over here at mid.
Pretty Boyz did a great job of attacking up through mid, so I have a feeling they should understand where to be defensively. Got nice shots on Pure, but the heals will negate the damage dealt. Back to full HP. DXN, however, takes down Strong Legs, and that's an important kill across the way.
Yeah, I think he caught him while he was trying to heal. You saw that, yeah, Pure took a lot of damage there, got healed up, and during that animation, I believe the flank came out, and so now we're seeing a regroup coming out as now they're rotating, it looks like, on over to the A side. They have to commit to this. They only have 25 seconds to work with.
Easy. There's only one player on here. That said, that one player is DXN and just nailed the paranoia against 2. As long as I build him up, he gets broken down. China Nguyen plants it. 4 versus 3 for the defense. Pretty Boyz coming from multiple angles, and Anderson waiting for him. D-Cop, though, strong as ever. Gets a kill. 2 players up. D-Cop preparing the flash. 1 in dark, 1 across. Dark player shoots out, flashes onto the... No! D-Cop blinds Tighty. And the players down there in dark wind up winning it. Pretty Boyz 13-12. So if Pretty Boyz win this one, it's all good. It's all over. We go to game 2 with the challengers up 1. And if China win this one, Then we got to play again.
Yeah, and so now trying to win. We'll see what they have here for the offense, and they've already grouped 5
Yes, this should do.
over to the B site. Just get the cameras absolutely cleared out and take a look at how aggressively pushed up they were, spotting 1 out. Do they know there's 1 or at least 2 in market?
Well, there's some nonsense coming out from Hunter.
Take flight.
And a great shot there. Things looking quite good for Pretty Boyz as they have the numbers advantage. Spread out though, 1 player defending A, 2 players in mid, 1 player on B, and Omen playing B mid connector. So China Nguyen have 4 alive, and they're both looking towards this beta site.
I have dropped the spike.
And the push is on. Smoke going up towards the top side. Anderson in a good position. Oh, gets caught with his hands in his pockets. And cute fat boy, the culprit. Strong legs pushing on through the smoke and is able to answer. But it's 3 players up for China Nguyen, the attackers, versus 3 players for Pretty Boyz. And just like that, Pure and Strong Legs turned the tables. And 1 player left up for the champions. And we'll change all that. Defenders take it. Pretty Boyz up 1 game to none, Jamerson. And China Nguyen, the champs, on the back foot.
Yeah, this is what we're expecting coming into game number 1. It's just going back and forth, and of course it goes over to overtime. But Pretty Boyz, they start off on their offense. They it looked like they kind of warmed up throughout the match, right? The offense was not as strong as we're used to seeing coming out from a lot of teams, but once they swapped over to their defense felt really good. They understood the play style of China Nguyen. Like I said, they kept falling back off the site. They played a lot for the post plants. Their trades were also good. Their aim started getting better and better. I think we noted that Anderson was a little bit quiet starting off, and then by the end, he definitely turned it up and showed up. Now, of course, Almighty Hunter didn't have the same kind of performance, but he still did a solid, I think, in regards to the position that he was put in.
Absolutely. Strong legs, no pun intended, absolutely stood up here. 23 kills in total here for the Sage player. And man, do I love that. A lot of times everybody likes to give Sage players kind of like, oh, well, doesn't matter, low kills, you're a Sage player. Nah, man, Strong Legs comes out and just kicks the door down. But low kill count compared to everybody else, even for the losing team, who wound up with 12.
Yeah, I mean, Strong Legs, a lot of people will just say, oh, yeah, well, that's what Sage can do sometimes. If she bottom frags, it's like, yeah, she's not supposed to frag. If she top frags, it's like, oh, well, she was baiting her team. But no, this wasn't it. It was a lot of times Strong Legs coming in with just absolutely handedly taking a double kill, triple kill at times, even in positions where he was, of course, absolutely outgunned and he was buying time for his team. So he was just playing that anchor kind of Sage, especially on the defense, where he ended up picking up a lot of those kills.
Yeah, really impressive so far. Straight up and down, Ascent. Both teams seem to have a handle on kind of how to go into it. Next up, we're going to go to Haven, and Pretty Boyz are going to be starting off on defense. So last time around, we saw China Nguyen starting on defense, now switching it up. How do you think this is going to look with China Nguyen as the aggressors?
I think there's a bit more play for Decop if he stays on the Phoenix, and this is where he can open up a little bit more. We saw that the plays that China Nguyen had on their Ascent attack, it was pretty one-dimensional, and it took a while before it finally hit pay dirt. But I think here on Haven, you do have a bit more dynamic play with it, especially both on defense and offense. We're also going to probably more than likely see Sage on either side. Yeah. And I think that might have been one of the biggest differences. Honestly, if I'm going to break anything down, one takeaway is just that on Ascent, I think both offense and defensive start, you still need to bring the Sage. Because once you swap onto that offense, you still need that Sage for her offensive abilities.
Yeah, that is B-site. You
can see clearly now.
Yeah, the rain's gone. I'm down. Fine. It's B-side. I can. It took me a long time. It took me mad weeks to finally just say that underground spot is B-side. I like this map. I've always liked this map. I really, really do. And I think this one is nicely balanced because of that B site. I talk about split being attacker-sided often because of how much map cover or how much map you have to traverse to rotate from side A to side B, right? And because of that, attackers just get there fast. Oops, you've wasted 20 seconds actually getting there. You only have 25 seconds to look for the retake, right? Well, with Haven here, one, B's right in the middle, so it's a half rotation if you're coming from either of the connectors. And if you do wind up on the other side, there's multiple ways around. It's just a very interesting map, and it's a very Valorant map. When we talk about tac shooters, they all have their kind of thing that sets them apart from all. And Valorant, I find, is more mobile than the others, and Haven is just perfect for it.
Also, triple site, right? And yeah. I think when I first saw it, when we all first saw the map, we're like, triple site.
Why? I left immediately.
But it grew on me. I think it's still a fun site to play because you don't have to, like you mentioned, commit onto the B site. But the strength of a Sage as an anchor, playing either towards Garage or even on B proper is something that you can do. And the walls can buy more than enough time, like you said. The rotates coming up from C site, A site. It allows you to go for that retake where it's not one-dimensional. You're not all just kind of flooding in from the same angle, that you're able to set up a crossfire while you come in, all checking different angles, and it makes it very efficient on the retake. And so this is a map that really did grow on me, especially for how you can play very aggressively here on the B site, on A site, well, just mid control overall. So it definitely grew on me, and like you said, it is a very Valorant map, typically because of the triple site.
Yeah, you know, I've been playing Counter-Strike for longer than I could do a lot of things in life. Since 10 years old, I've been playing Counter-Strike, right? My resume says game designer, level designer on it, you know, and I came in, no way this map's gonna work out. What's going on here? And I often like to say that as a commentator, when I get things wrong, it's usually a good thing. Because if I predicted a team to win or predicted a meta to go one way or a map to go another way, and I'm wrong, it means that something very interesting happened. And I think that's the case here with Haven, with the players. This game wound up being a lot faster than I think I initially anticipated. And that's really done a lot for the genre and has made it very exciting to watch. We've got a number of big end tournaments. And so as we bust onto this one, China Nguyen's going to look for the C site. And Pretty Boy's defense is too strong there. Big flanks, though, as China Nguyen backs it on up and shoot Fat Boy. Takes down Hunter and then immediately drops down to the enemy Cypher. And Decop doesn't slow down. A site is the new spot. And 3 players from Pretty Boyz making the rotation versus 3 players from China Nguyen. Spike planting, Spike planted.
The important part about all of that, even though C site was not the push, they backed off of it. They baited out a lot of utility. They got the slows out, they got the heals out early on, and so we're seeing right now Pure, he doesn't have much HP to work with. They're not gonna have another heal for the rest of this round here. And so now, as they make their way in, there's the flash, but oh, what a predict on that shot. Decop goes down.
Pancakes reloading, doesn't matter. Pure 1 second too slow. And China Nguyen are mad about it. They grabbed the first round. Not easily, though. And so this is an interesting look. Look at the itemization coming out from China Nguyen. Usually we see them go with the save here. This time around, they're opting for 2 SMGs, a Bulldoggy, and they're going to leave 2 players, or at least 1 player saving. Pancake's likely to pick up a big gun next round, op or otherwise. Because they know that Pretty Boyz has been so damn successful, they have to arm themselves with these weapons. And that's the adaptation that we see China Nguyen make, despite being the winner.
And here we go. They got the backside. Spots one out.
Nice shot.
Holding the angle.
Decop able to cut that down. Sees 2-3 players, though, on the defense. And so China Nguyen are going to make the retreat and the rotation, or at least the fake rotation.
I'm trying to figure out whose camera is where right now covering what. And it's hard to tell.
Every camera is covering the back flank.
Yeah.
Whose is whose? Oh, but they're watching the back flank. The walk-in's good. Phoenix ultimate gone. So is Sova. Shouts to Pancakes, who has had a really good start to this match. Walled off his garage. And Anderson is way too close, but he dies right away. Oh, that could have been the big play, but instead, well, it won't be. And Thwyflo here. It's Thwyfo, excuse me. All by themselves.
Are taken out.
This is one of those rounds that feel bad. I mean, what am I going to do? Save my ghost? I'm certainly not going to win 1v5. CFB gets the last kill, and it's 2-0 defending champs.
And I love seeing the respect, the caution that China Nguyen are bringing into this. They played this basically like it was a rifle round.
Yep.
They are playing with the, I think, the due respect that Pretty Boyz earned on that first map. But they're also playing this incredibly smart in terms of just kind of fundamental play here. They're doing a lot of faith. They're doing a lot of timing attacks. They're baiting out rotations and then baiting out counter rotations. It's been great to see coming out from China Nguyen here. This adjustment here on Haven for the attacking side. D-Cup almost got that frag, just not able to hit his shots. And so now they do have long A control. Pretty Boy is going to have a difficult time here as we do have a default play coming out from China Nguyen. Looks like it was more ultimate orb control more than anything. And I think you definitely do need to play towards that advantage, being able to actually get those ults early on and continue to maybe snowball round wins here on the offensive side.
That's a big play. I think that's what starts to separate higher end squads. If you're watching a tournament and you're, a gold player, first of all, you're better than me, so I'm not disrespecting you. But the ult orbs, honestly, are going to get you killed more often than they're going to get you kills. But when you're playing at the top of the crop like this, everyone's landing their shots. Everyone knows their playbooks. Everyone knows their smokes. So those are the small things that separate you from the opposition. You've got to be able to look for those angles and then be able to protect your teammates when you find those. And then make the play after the fact. Great wall! But China busts on through. Strong Legs is able to grab one. Decop answers. And Pure looking on the left-hand side. The rest of the team over the other way. And Taiti goes surprise. We're at C. Clears the site. Spike goes down. And Thwyfo from the backside sprays and deals with Phoenix. 4 players from Pretty Boyz looking to take over 3 from China Nguyen. Make it 2 as Anderson gets it done.
Yeah, isolated him out. It's going to slow this down a little bit more. I'm surprised that he didn't hold that molly, but that's nice for him. That allows DXN go for the white swing on the left-hand side, and China Nguyen with 3 rounds in a row now.
Don't forget, Pretty Boyz last time around took a couple, lost a bunch, and then came on back. So China Nguyen getting 3 in a row is by no stretch of the imagination a death knell for PB. But curious to see Pretty Boyz kind of falling down here. Mid push one more time. Wow. Early? Where did Pure die? I guess it was A long.
No chance.
It was over at B, actually, where he got caught out. So it might have just been a peek over by window.
Mid.
Quick one. 50-50 battle there. As, yeah. We got the push coming out from Sova, and there he is. Anderson going down. That is not what you want to see.
Taiti did a great job of pushing up onto the C site. Walks up long, stays on the right side to make sure that he can jump into cubby, but doesn't actually need to. Finds the player coming around the back end, cuts him down, goes behind the Radiant Knight for practice, or for cover, excuse me, and then able to finish it off after the fact. CFB here Peeking with the no peek, gets the info, turns the corner, turns strong legs. And it's a 1 versus the world here for PB's Sova. And I think whatever itemization he's got, he's gonna save.
He narrowly survived that one, brought down to 25 HP, but this is a huge round, a flawless round for China win. You know, the economy is going to be what's important. When you have these two teams going back and forth, money is the name of the game here. Oh, it is not going to be flawless as that shorty does 200 credits to do a massive amount of economic damage.
Fun stuff, man. The shorty, I don't know, just winds up.
Yes, that goes there.
That's what the shorty does, right? It gets you one, you trade out, and then you die for it. It's one of my least favorite weapons. I just it's just always like, yeah, I did it. I did my job. Only 200 though, like you said. Usually it's worth it, just feels bad.
Yeah.
Story of my entire life, by the way. 4-0 here for China win. Finally. Everybody likes to go for the new skins. Still see the Lakers axe every now and then. I think that's the best melee weapon we've gotten.
Now, here's the entry coming on to the A site here. Decop gets instantly cleared.
No info either. Jumps up top.
There's the blade surge.
Couldn't find anything either. Ults used for nothing, and China win. China win throw away an ultimate, and are able to still kind of push on through.
That quasi like 6th life coming out from Decop though, at the very least, it's one person you don't lose, right? That's one body that you don't lose. But I gotta say, Pretty Boyz have been really fast and been able to clear that, and you're seeing why like your China win are giving them the all due respect at this point. When it comes down to 50-50s, when you get a second chance at that 50-50 with the run it back, it's that strong. Now I will say that was a little bit weird coming out from China win as they were trying to get these exit frags, but we know how important the economy game is right now.
Finds the last kill there, Hunter. Keeps the op as well. Pretty Boyz still without a win, but certainly going to keep their weaponry, which is a big deal here.
Can someone get this? Thank you.
I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised they went for those exits though, because like,
yeah,
you know, that having that rainy day fund could have been huge for them. Because now, like, if they take a round loss, that's maybe what 1 round that they can buy back into, and then they have to eco and then right back in. If they saved all those guns and they lost this round, they have 2 full rifle rounds after them behind that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Not too much of an issue there, I suppose, for the rifle team. That is. 5-0, China win. Upset that they're down 1, as they are our crown defenders. Flyfo, the defender of the site, gets cut down by DXN. It's a 5-on-4, thanks to the Omen Sage player getting the res. Cute Fat Boy also comes through in the clutch, not once, but twice. Hunter tries their darndest to find long-range shots, but can't.
Yeah. Nice heads-up play coming out from Cute Fat Boy there, allowing the Omen to finish off his ultimate. Oh, that felt like Hunter had an eternity to line that up. That was a little bit slow, I think, on that battle there. Shouldn't have gone down, honestly. Nice peek coming out from Decop. And I love Phoenix, by the way. I think in terms of like character design and game design, Phoenix has been one of my favorite video game characters in a really long time.
Like personality-wise or gameplay-wise?
Personality-wise.
He's right on point.
He's just so cool. I strive to be that cool, or even a quarter as cool as him.
Yeah, you know, it's also like, listen, I like, I don't know if anybody could tell, I like to do weird things with my look. I have tried to wear rings, and I just can't pull them off. And here's Phoenix out here just looking swag as hell. I I feel that, man.
Yeah, I mean, 12-year-old Jamerson feels that as well. To pull off the man rings, it's been something that I've been trying to do for 2 decades now, and I haven't been able to. There was a period in life where I tried. I had this really dope Advent Children cloud ring. You know,
of course you did.
Yeah. It was dope because it had that lion's head, but it also had like the ring that hung off the lion's jaws.
The like dangle ring.
I have it somewhere.
Oh no, you should not say that out loud. A-Site is gonna be the push here. Heaven smoked to oblivion, but still able to find the spike point. All angles covered, but it's a 5-on-5. And so
I made a mistake.
Good look here.
I made a mistake, and this ring is never coming off. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Fat finger.
Trying to win. Fingers on point here. Getting these kills. Long shot from Thwifo. But this one likely to be all over. Oh. Above, below. And the attackers get it. Number 7 for China. Number 0 for Pretty Boyz. But I think Jamerson also wound up with an L that round.
Yeah, I think I have to go to the doctors because these are never coming off. This was a period in my life where I thought Geek Chic and Man Rings were something I'm going to pull off. But as you can see, this I think this is a Death Note ring. Is actually stuck on forever. It's not coming off. You guys can tell how fat my fingers are.
I can see the like red pulsing. You know, I was gonna ask you what the over/under was for skull specific rings. I knew you had one.
Yeah, I actually have 2, but the other one was like a I don't even know how. Where
You
I
know
got this
what?
one.
You know what? I could absolutely see Leather Daddy Jamerson.
Wait, the crazy thing is I actually have 2 of these.
Again, I don't think you should have said that out loud. Oh man.
Geek Chic, I thought was going to be a thing.
Marketing companies went with Geek Chic for a solid 1 year, maybe. No, I'm here for it. You look at the intersection of streetwear and nerd culture is actually one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's become huge in the last few years. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I mean, it's the entire identity of 100 Thieves, right? Like that's their whole thing. I've really embraced that sort of look. Trying to win. Slowing it down all of a sudden. Only one player here.
Oh,
China Wen making it happen. Pancakes drops into the left-hand side. Thwifo is able to grab technically 2, but just 1 since it was the Phoenix ult. But the spike is down, and it's a 4-on-4.
yeah. We'll see, but this defense hasn't been able to mount to much in this half at all. They do have the ultimate to work with, and so they have idea really where these post-hand positions are, but Decop right on site finds one before he gets traded away.
Thwifo has had the game this time around. Diffuse, they're going to be able to get it. Nice molly there, though. First round here for Pretty Boyz. And they've got to feel strong about that. After 8, it's 7-1 here. What went wrong for China Wen there? It looked like they got onto the site so well.
They did, and they use the, I think, Brimstone ultimate well, right? They clear out 2 angles basically by the Radiant box and, of course, back left the site. But I think just China Wen, it just comes down to in this matchup, a lot of times just winning your duels. For the most part, this half, China Wen have had their number, but now it looks like, you know, China Wen were able to win, Pretty Boyz were able to win that one up. But it's the economy issue that now Pretty Boyz have to fight against. It's a 2-front battle. It's not just the 50-50s. It's not just the aim duels. It's going to be the onslaught of just ARs coming in round after round.
Long shot here for Hunter, guarding the backside. Tighty on the front side deals with Thwifo. And Hunter.
Yeah, just slowing this down. And I like this play coming out from China Wen, right? They've been pretty fast and heavy. D-Cup playing this default working out for them.
Decop's just, well, there he dies, but Decop's just that damn good. You know, we got a chance to see China Wen play a couple of times. They've been here obviously 2 weeks in a row, but you know, even before that, and I've got a chance to kind of watch Decop stream, and you know, he lands those shots. He knows how to play entry. He knows his position, and he's willing to die for the team. And I think that's what you got to do if you're playing this sort of this style, this character, this position, and you know, it's a fun guy to watch, both you know, in tournament and on stream. So it's cool to kind of see China Wen turning things around here as they did not in game number 1. 12 and 11 for Decop and Pancakes, respectively, and certainly a different look in game 2 for China Wen than game 1.
Yeah, I went to great lengths of gassing him up, right? The first week that we had him out, and he has not disappointed in the maps that we've seen him so far. And so now Decop, once again, like I said, he's a very dynamic, explosive player. He's great for entry because his aim is just on point, but also he's got that fearlessness, you know, and he's fast. And we're seeing that coming out from him. And so, of course, him playing the entry, playing the duelist, playing that Phoenix makes so much sense for this team.
It's so tough playing a duelist in Valorant because you know that you have to go real fast, but you can't go 100 miles an hour. That said, you can't go 50. You got to find that perfect 85 to 90, and if you don't, you either die too early or you don't do your job. China Wen busting onto the scene. DXN going to grab the first kill. Everybody on the A site so far. One player lurking in the background and going to be able to grab the rotation if it all goes well. Taiti and Decop grab one, and Taiti was the lurker there, by the way. And so Pretty Boyz have one left. And for what it's worth, it's Stiflo, the player that's been kinda killing it. Grabs a third, but the flank from the right-hand side. Oh, there's the information. But through the wall, and who other than Decop?
Yeah, I believe he was top frag in the last map as well, right? For them on Ascent. So he's showing up once again. There we go, top frag. And we shouldn't be surprised, but the way he's doing it is also just like, is what's so good. Again, he's got that Phoenix. He's got that extra life to work with. If he needs, of course, to have the Sage for the res, it's difficult. A lot of times, right? The way that Phoenix has to play, he dies so far up front that oftentimes you're not able to get the res on him, but he's got that backup as well if they really need to use it. Now it looks like they're going to go ahead and make another quick execute. This is what we were talking about. We weren't seeing this kind of speed, this same kind of commitment coming out from them when we were on Ascent, but here on Haven, it's completely different.
China Wen lose one, but they res right after the fact, so a 5-on-4 as the attackers get the spike down and look to defend.
Stealing sight.
Pretty Boyz getting in position. Pancakes. Oh, Anderson takes a bunch of damage but won't fall down. Here comes the push. Nice hide in the corner. And Cute Fat Boy grabs a 3-piece. Strong Legs grabs a 3-piece. And it's one versus everyone.
Your duty is not over.
Strong Legs gets a res. Honestly, thanks to the enemy Phoenix as well. Looking for the frags, no time to defuse. And Decop tells him to sit down. You do it, Phoenix. And that's the round. China Wen in double digits.
And we were not expecting this at all. This has been one of the most one-sided affairs. Well, you know, not tonight, honestly, right?
Not tonight.
Because I mean, we had Pretty Boyz in the match just before this, with an 11-1, with a 10-2.
Yep.
And coming into this match, we thought it was gonna be really tight, especially with how the first map went. But this is completely different looks coming out from China Wen.
I mean, what's 14 plus 12? 26. We had a 26 round game in game number 1. And real talk, we might just have 14 here. A beautiful round from China Wen already. 5-on-3. An ult on one side, an op shot from the other.
You were a mistake.
Anderson, however, gets it done in the mid. And the slow rotation to A. It's going to be 2 players from Pretty Boyz playing defense here. Judge is good for 1. Judge is good for 2. Reloads on. And the fallback, Anderson's good for the 3rd. Sage by themselves. DXN has the spike. 52 seconds. Where do they go?
It looks like he's just going to make the run all the way over to the C side and maybe even control mid. Having this operator is going to make it very difficult here. I don't know if he's going to be able to swap off onto anything that allows him to duel a little bit stronger, but still a 1v2. He's got the spike, and it looks like it is just going to be onto that B site. Does have to be careful. The Silva's already here.
Both players are going to be coming from the right side, so I like the op with that respect. No! Oh, man, I am not going to sit here and pretend to know better than DXN, but boy, was that not the angle to take. Oh, you knew the players were going to be coming from that side of the site. With the op, I would have liked him to kind of back up and take that longer angle, not slow peek the shoulder. But oh well.
I feel like it might have been trying to like get a read and thinking that maybe that one player rotates around over to C through, of course, defender spawn, and then he tries to make a play up through A heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know. I think at that point, you know, with what it was 20 seconds or something left in the round, that he just goes for the plant onto the B side or just rotate all the way over to C.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be better than the Sage player, but I knife out, run all the way to C, hide in the corner, and look for the op shot, and then ultimately dot in the double peak. But that's besides the point. China win after 12, find themselves up 8-10 in total.
They found my wire.
We take it all away, and we're down to pistols. C site, the push for Pretty Boyz, and China win loosely spread throughout the map, now coalesces into 5, and will look for the big time retake. Shots in the garage as Pretty Boyz are interested in looking for that flank. And one gonna come all the way up.
Look sharp.
Ooh.
Hunter gone. Wifo
1-for-1 exchange.
Pancake equalizes, and it's 3 down. China win, get the defuse. 2 away from bringing us to game 3.
And what a way to do it, too, in such a dominant fashion so far. Now, I don't want to sell Pretty Boyz out, but here we go. You lost the pistol round. You got to imagine the ensuing anti-eco round here for China win. Now we're seeing the force up coming out from Pretty Boyz. We've got the Stinger out for Strong Legs. We've got a Sheriff out for Anderson. We'll see what else they commit into it. And I think kind of have to commit fully into this as another Sheriff comes out, another Stinger. And so, yeah, they understand the situation they're in. If they want to come back, they need to mount it here in a big way.
Agreed. Gotta buy, gotta go in, gotta hope it rises here. The Bulldoggy. Real talk, one of my favorite guns.
I said last night, right, that the Bulldog is going to come in a big way. The Stingers, the SMGs are going to come in a big way. If Killjoy comes out the way Killjoy comes out, with those set of skills, yeah, you're going to see a lot more Bulldogs. You're going to see a lot more of those weapons.
B site, where Pretty Boy is going to be barking into. 2 on the right, 2 on the left, a 3rd likely to come down mid. Pancakes grabbed 1, and the 2nd. The 3rd from D-Cop, the 4th from Pancakes. 3 for the Brimstone specifically. And Pretty Boyz with an ugly round. Cypher by themselves.
No more charges left.
Wifo again does what he can, but comes up short. There's a dozen for CN. And I'm pretty sure, Jamerson, we're going to a game 3.
Yeah, he actually survives that. That's absolutely insane. I was not expecting that whatsoever. But a huge flash coming out from D-Cop there keeps him alive. And that's absolutely insane. Another force up is going to be coming out from Pretty Boyz here. But now this is, should be map number 3 coming out from China Win, and take a look how they want to do it as well. They're going to get aggressive up on B.
Just end it. Step on the face. China Win, push it all the way up. Nobody has played this mid-window. Sometimes entire games are run around mid-window. Haven't seen it at all. Anderson, however, answers back. Long-range Sheriff locks him up. 5-on-4. Pretty Boys with the spike around C. A lot of noise around mid, though. Has brought the defender there. Anderson with the second of the round. Not done yet. There's the shots from Thwifo. And it's 3-on-5. 2-on-5. D-Cop. Oh, what was that? D-Cop in the chat. Bad flash. And the spike goes down. Good flash.
Oh my goodness. No, he pulls off of that spray just too early. One bullet too early. Anderson surviving with 6 HP. But this is just a momentary reprieve for Pretty Boys at this point. As trying to win again. They have 9 more rounds to just close this one out.
And I mean, that's it's just comfortable, right here, I guess is the word we use for China win. You know, I really think Pretty Boys have to get to 8 before I care if I'm on China win, and 9 before I'm even concerned. So 3, yeah, man, you don't want to lose these and show, like, absolutely, but no sweat here for China.
That's definitely a good start there. Strong legs, able to take out his counterpart. So we have a default play coming up from Pretty Boys here.
Pretty Boy is now trying to just look for the picks. One player at A short, one player down banana. And the rest of the squad coming up there. Here comes Jet dashing on, and D-Cop wins the C trade. No one's there, man. They're all at A site. 4-on-4, but 2 players on defense aren't there yet. So Pretty Boys get the spike plant, and China Wen will look for the defuse.
Now, how do they approach this? What kind of utility do they have left? They do have the Phoenix Rent back, and that's going to be a great way to start it off. Brimstone Ultimate comes out, and Strong Legs finds 1.
Loud and proud, China Wen looking to bring us to a game number 3. Tight T tightens it up. And the last player standing gets cut on down. China Wen finish it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in game numero 3.
13-3. 13-3. We were not expecting that all whatsoever. We had such an even match. I mean, we went to overtime. It was 2 rounds, of course, for Pretty Boys to finish that off. But it's just so surprising that China Win had such a dominant attacking side, first off. And Pretty Boys, a team that we saw like having a great defense on Ascent, weren't able to mount up anything at all, basically on their defense here on Haven.
I like how once the rings come on, the buttons come out and the chains come out. So I'll help you out.
What are you talking about? Okay. I've been like this all day. What are you talking about? I'm actually kind of like channeling like my inner like Mitch Uber Leslie right now, I think. Right? That's a man that pulls off rings well. I've seen him. Yes. He does it well.
I'll give Uber. I'll give Semler. I'll give Semler the shout.
Semler is just a beautiful man who just dresses well overall. Like he's got everything together. Like it's insane.
Yeah. I can't hate on that one, but we're gonna go fix our look real quick. Game number 3 in the wings. We'll be back with Fight Night after this.
Oh God,
so cool looking. Oh man,
so cool, so cool.
Welcome back, folks. Fight night here Tuesday, every Tuesday. fdot and Jamerson bringing it to you. And so far, China Nguyen and their contenders have absolutely brought it. Jamerson, we're 2 maps in. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. You know, now that I've kind of put aside the sleazy nightclub owner Jamerson persona, and I'm back to caster Jamerson here. But this match has been incredible to see. Again, it looked like, you know, maybe Ascent was a bit of a slow start for China Nguyen because they weren't firing in all cylinders. Their executes just weren't looking as crisp as we were seeing last week. But then here, on the second map, when we went over to Haven, it was a completely different story. They looked like the China Nguyen that we saw last week.
Yeah, this was pure dominance. You know, D-Cop coming through, playing his role of the entry frag or feeder, depending on what his team needed him to do. But again, you know, jokes aside, the team makes uses of that sort of thing. Long range shots with the snipers. This was just, I mean, if you write down on a piece of paper how you want your Valorant team to play, China went ahead and executed. So the third map, I believe, production just told me, I'm the bad one here.
Bind.
China's going to be defending first. And with this in mind, Bind is where Pretty Boyz played defense last time around. So they're going to be looking at offense this time around. But Pretty Boyz game number 1 in the first match looked incredibly strong. This was the map that they went 11-1 on, right? In the in the first half. So we'll see how they work out this time around versus, in my opinion, fiercer competition.
I agree. One thing we have to look at is like how the operators come into play, because we know that, you know, China Nguyen, they don't go for the operators as often. They're not a team that's relying around it. They play against it and play around it in that regard, in that sense, and they do a really good job. I mean, we had the post-game interview last week where they said, yeah, we try our best not to let the operator get any chance of getting going. We take the pressure to them. We don't play within the sightlines of it. We use our utility to play against it. Here, though, we've seen players just absolutely dominate with it. We'll see if that style can actually work out, especially when it can be a very heavy force to try and shut down here on Bind.
Yeah, you got a lot of nice long sight lines when it comes down to this type of rifle. You can use it down long C or long B, which is really, really where I like it. And then even in A, everybody likes to look up at the top by heaven for the op. But I find that if you play in that middle of the site, you can get both mid and showers. There's just a lot of good places to really rock the op. Also, though, just on the flip side, you also have close quarters combat. So Raze mains really get a lot of exciting play here. Anybody that can really make noise like that. And this is where shotgun buddies kind of show up as well. So as we load into this one pretty quickly, this is a really, really dynamic map. And this is a map where there's a myriad of different approaches to it. So Pretty Boyz, when I see a team that is able to kind of dunk on people and then get dunked, I think that there is a play style they're comfortable with and a play style that maybe not so much. And without diving into the VODs, I can't really detect that on the fly. But this is a map that allows multiple play styles and approaches, Jamerson. So I think this one might be where Pretty Boyz have more of an assertive look.
Yeah, so we're not going to see Phoenix out. It is going to be that raise that you were mentioning beforehand for D-Cop on the side of China Nguyen. Coming into our final map of the evening, I think we saw a shorty in the hands of D-Cop as well, and so he's going to be playing that over by U-Hauls.
Doesn't surprise, you know, a shorty on the pistol round surprises me. A shorty on the pistol round for D-Cop doesn't really surprise me. We'll see how fast they go, but Pretty Boyz located alongside the B site, making a whole lot of noise with it. Strong legs leading the charge. D-Cop in mid and not pushed up at all.
Now, we do have the Cypher playing over by Showers, and so we're seeing that they can't rotate quite yet off the site just because they have to worry about that one man. That one man could be indicative, of course, the whole squad being here. Now, there's a lot of noises, so it's hard to tell where it is. They heard them pick up the ultimate orb over by B, and so right now, China Nguyen, they're just playing this as cautiously as possible.
Pistol rounds usually fast. A real slow one this time around. Pretty Boy is not very healthy. Omen barely alive. Waiting for that Sage cooldown. I think that's why we see this slow.
I love this arrow just being lined up right now from trying to win. He understands that, like, if the execute comes out and he can get that arrow up, that it just slows him down. Now here's the rotates out, the ports out, they hear it, and so the rotates should be coming from the rest of them. Oh, big frags coming out there for China Win.
Pancake's gonna grab a beautiful lights out there. One through the wall and one up front. Tighty and Pancake splitting that one. Pancakes grabs the third, and Cute Fat Boy with the cute fat rotate. China Win starts this one off just like they started off game number 2.
There we also saw the classic being put to good use. The kind of like jump peaks that you're able to do with it is absolutely absurd. I know when we first started doing this, yeah, you and I had a lot of discussion over classic versus ghost, and now it's kind of like splits in how teams want to use it.
I wanted to ask about that because the classic before was like busted with jump accuracy and the right click. It's been changed, but is that still an identity, just less so of the classic?
I think people are just getting more used to how to use that right click on it. It's just,
yeah,
it's just so good.
That, like, I question the shorty pickup on the pistol round because right click classic is kind of the same thing. Like, no, yeah. But yes, you know?
It's kind of the same thing with more options left to you right now.
Yeah. Long flank coming out from China Win. Pretty Boys stuck in the middle, in all honesty. Nice scout shot on the Marshall from DXM. D-Cop tossing out all sorts of ordnance. Boombot gonna get it done next to the grenade there from Pure. So Pure trading in the jet for the Raze as well. Raze on bind, as close to necessary as you can be. Raze trades. And 3 left for Pretty Boys. Split 1-1. It's a nice answer. And it definitely makes the game a little bit more interesting when you split the first 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, Pretty Boys just playing that well. Of course, you know they've got the attacker's advantage when they attack a site, right? You just have the intrinsically the numbers advantage, and you play for the trades on that eco, and that's what they did. It was just pure fundamental play coming out from Pretty Boys that ended up getting them that round win, securing a lot of those guns as well, picking up the SMG, being able to pick up the Judge. It was massive for them.
Bomb buddy out.
Ooh, that's a quick response. Raze knows there's a lot of people around the corner.
Stay down.
And it's a 3 for 2 in mid. China Win on the bad side of it. So the attackers barreling their way into B site. Won't have anyone here to defend it. And China Win, Omen and Raze left. Raze coming up through hookah. Omen's going to, the ultimate's not available, so Omen is chilling? A curious decision here from China Win. I guess it's a save on round 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's saving at this point. Oh, isn't able to pick up that kill. That could have been huge for them.
Yeah, nice try there. Okay, that's worth a save. Picks up a Phantom in showers and just looking for it. 2 versus 3, I think, is a fight I want to take, in all honesty. But China Win opt to save the Phantom, realizing that this is going to be a war of attrition. And like I said, that might not have been the call that I make if I'm coaching this team, but it's not a call I disagree with, Jamerson.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So at this point now, a much better start for Pretty Boys, where their offense on the other map, I mean, it was still back and forth affairs, and I think both teams are struggling a little bit to really find their footing for the offense. We saw that China Win started picking things up, but now here we go. We saw a very aggressive push on that eco round coming out from China Win, but they're just going to go ahead and play this pretty much standard.
So we're used to seeing it.
Pretty Boyz here. Playing it slow. Two players still on the A side of the map, so they do have that available to them if that's the decision they want to make. But the majority of players, at least mid, shifted towards B, but now slowly making their way downtown.
They're gonna have to walk fast soon, though. They're down to 1 minute now.
Yeah, it's a perfect push. I love. I mean, this is how you take A, right? So. Nobody up in heaven. Smoked off is good. Thwyfo gets away onto the site. No one on the right side corner. Beautiful execution. Decop gets the first kill of the contest. And Pretty Boyz are 4 alive. Answer back from Hunter. Spike. Not planted just yet. DXN gets 1. Spike goes down on default plant location. And here comes the retake. Hunter for 3. Puts it in. Anderson grabs on as well. The 2v1. Pretty Boyz have the upper hand. And that's going to be the duel. Fake defuse. One around the corner. Ray's ready. Pop, pop. Good enough. Round 3 for Pretty Boyz.
Not much you can do there. You hear the showstopper. You're hitting that defuse. What can you do?
It's guess I'll die. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Nice shot there. That was a real nice looking round from China Nguyen. Able to kind of get things done that they weren't able to get done last time around. Okay. Yes or no? If Raze doesn't have the showstopper, we're tied at 2.
Oh, 100%. 100% at this point. But that showstopper absolutely clinches it for them. There's almost no way to really, fudge that one up. So we're seeing... Okay.
They moved. Did he not see the player rotate from that spot? I guess not. Pancake certainly sees Thwyfo. Puts him in the ground, easy peasy. Decop coming all the way around. And falling back into a safe space to defend the A site. Four players at A main. Anderson's gonna push on up. The rest of the Pretty Boyz are gonna push on up. Pancake says, no way, sir, and deals with 1. Pure deals with 2. And finally gets put down. 3 versus 2, the offensive team on the bad side of the count. A site previously looked at. Through the TP we go. And B site will be the choice. Everybody knows it. Cameron gets the information. DXN Reds as pancakes. And China Nguyen have all the tools in the world to deal with this B site push.
And I love how they approach this retake as well, right? They didn't get really over aggressive, even though they got some really good trades over by U-Haul and there's weapons that they could pick up. They waited. They bide their time. They hear the rotations out and then they go for it. Oh, almighty. Will he get a second? No. There we go. Silva picks 1 up, and now they know where Stronglegs is. He's got 2 HP, has the heal, is trying to buy time, but now the heal gets stopped, and they will be able to clean that up. But China Nguyen, again, we're talking about it. We're just going back down to fundamentals and how to play the game and how to play the game optimally, and they're making sure that they're doing that there. Being able to win out on that eco round was massive for them.
Very, very big. After 5, China Nguyen have 2 of them. And looking at the money situation, Pretty Boyz won't have an issue this time around. Everybody's gonna buy a gun, and in fact, their top frag Hunter will buy the op.
And one of the things I did want to note upon a little bit more before we went into this map is that we needed to see a little bit more activity out of Hunter. We haven't seen him as much in map number 1 and map number 2, but here already he's having a much larger presence. The same kind of presence that we were expecting, that we saw in the first set of the night.
Oh man, I love you, dude. I was gonna say the same damn thing. It really showcases how differently the op works map to map and just how powerful it can be, specifically on this one. traditionally in Counter-Strike, you do have dedicated op players, so you know it's not a bad thing. Yeesh. Got to pick it up on the other maps. That said, this time around, I mean, it's best of 3, man. If you got to go all 3 to get the win, that's fine. A dub is a dub. It certainly looks cute so far. 1 away from double digits for the Sova op main.
Yeah, he's again setting up for that execute, waiting for it to come out. As soon as that smoke comes down, blocks him off, he's going to go ahead and shoot out that recon dart. And there it is, comes out from both sides. But we saw this last time. Last time, Pretty Boyz just went ahead and rotated out like this. Ooh.
Omen. Omen. The ordnance is good inside the showers, and D-Cop's gonna take down strong legs. 3 versus 4. Rotation onto A. Sova ultimate cuts down Pancakes and D-Cop. 2 players with that Sova ult is hard to do. And Anderson follows it up with a gun. 7 seconds on the clock. Plant is good. And China wins Cypher player. Actually gonna go for this one. 1 versus 2, not too bad. CFB already cuts it down to 1v1. Looking at the main, turns around. Oh, here's the shot. Gets the shot. Anderson a little early leads to his early demise. The fuse is good, tied at 3.
I'm trying to remember who was the one that was on low HP, but I think they might have gotten that one backwards. The wrong person peeking first. But I love how Pretty Boyz played that. I think the way they approached that should have been the round win for them. With Anderson getting that flank, TPing himself into defender spawn, cutting off that rotation, slowing it down so much. It should have been a round win for them. But ultimately, it just came down to, you know, sometimes round wins, it's not about the tactics, it's about the clutches.
Shoot your shot, man. Shoot your shot. After 6, we're tied at 3. And this is absolutely fitting for the type of night that we've had. Fight night, we show it every Tuesday. Champion stays on. Challenger has to fight through another challenger to get here. And Pretty Boyz did just that. And they stomped the first match of the night. Like, absolutely stomped. And they came in, and they stomped again, then they got stomped. We had a back and forth and then a stomp. And now a good old-fashioned back and forth one more time. Push up onto A. Long range shots are good. And it's a 3v. I'm going to hold those numbers because just like that, we turn it around. Pop-Tart for the win. 3 for Cypher, 3 for Sova, and 5 for fighting. We're 7 in, and 4 belong to China.
Yeah, I wish I knew any songs from 5 for fighting, but I don't. Sorry, but I got the reference.
They sing Drops of Jupiter, right? Nope,
yeah,
that's
sure.
Train. That's Train. Tell me. You know that one?
Oh yeah.
No, that's Train. Don't worry. I'll make some EDM anime reference and you'll get it. Boom roasted. I think Jamerson left the call after that one, but Pretty Boyz is going to be playing default here. Oh, man. Can't make their choice. China have done a great job of playing defense 2 ways as well, denying the entry and playing for the retake. So it's not even as if Pretty Boyz can identify a way that's kind of worked out up and down. Taichi's hunting, but he won't find anything.
Yeah, some dodging and weaving going on there.
Right here.
Backside is noted. And mid A, main A. That's where everybody's going to be running here. Pop shot. Oh. Omen and Strong Legs are up high. Can't find anyone to look at. Nice shot coming out from Pancakes. Close for comfort, but good enough. D-Cop answers as well. And so 5 alive. Scratch that. Strong Legs finds it. And it's 4 versus 2. Pancakes looking disgusting with the op.
Oh, D-Cop going in. He's getting aggressive.
Paincake's looking for the flank as well. Decop and Pain. And just like that, defenders take it again. 5-3.
And I love this adjustment that's coming out from China Nguyen. Their defense, it's becoming a little bit more malleable. They're rotating around in different ways. I like what we're seeing right now coming out from them. Pretty Boyz finding a little bit more difficult now to find a clean entry. The duels are going more in the favor in China Nguyen's hands currently. As it's oddly enough, Strong Legs that hasn't been able to get much going at all on this map.
Yeah, real strong player. Game 1, game 2, and then game 1 and game 2 again. Even in the loss, Strong Legs looks good. This is the first time all night. 5th game of the night. Maybe a little fatigue kind of setting in for Strong Legs as they have been not as successful as their stronger games earlier on. But this is a bad round for Pretty Boyz. China Nguyen have money, have guns, and are having fun. And it might lead to 2 in a row. Bursting onto the scene is Pretty Boyz. Underpaid and undergunned. Not undermanned, as it's 5 versus 4. CFB comes through, but Pure answers, misses.
Satchel out.
And the ultimate's good enough.
You will not kill my allies.
Oh man,
That was dangerous.
that was clean from Pure though. Misses the first, hits the second to actually clear the boom bot. And this eco round for Pretty Boyz. This could be a huge swing for them.
Really, really big. Pancakes through the smoke, gets the headshot.
Precision.
Right side, Pure. Left side, Pancakes. And Pure with the 3-piece. Listen, I stand by how I set that table. China Nguyen had all the money in the world. Pretty Boyz had nothing. They had no guns. They had no good situation to be there. And they still cut it down.
Yeah, they pick up 2 operators off of that. I don't know if they were able to recover an AR as well. I think they did. And so with how cleanly they ended up winning that eco round, this is a chance for their economy to bounce back. Now, how do China Nguyen deal with double op setup coming out from China Nguyen, who coming out from Pretty Boyz, who I don't know if they've been able to, if Pretty Boyz have been able to run their double up yet on the offense.
No, they've had single opportunities, but not double, unfortunately. But this could be the turning point. China Nguyen's largest lead of the night has been 2 rounds. Well, not of the night, of this match. And Pretty Boyz making sure that it doesn't really get larger. Oh, Omen ults right beyond the smoke. One's good. The second's not. Anderson dies to the hand of Pancakes' pistol. Pistol Pancakes. Sounds like a breakfast place in Texas.
My next band.
Duty is not over.
Oh,
Collat Blat. DXN and Decop eat it thanks to Hunter. And he is the Hunter. Clearing out U-Haul. For Strong Legs. Tight T peaks, tight T falls. 10 cut in half is 5. And that's what each team owns. I like this knife better without the effects upgrade.
yeah, I agree.
Like just a straight up dragon tooth without the fire on it.
I mean, we get it. It's a dragon. Yeah. Let's take a look at the buy coming out from China Nguyen.
Satchel out.
Huh. Oh.
That didn't do it. You know what? Actually, alone in mid, the goal there is to make noise and drag defenders. Sure, question mark? Big push coming out from defenders, actually. And Pretty Boyz hanging back here. Quite a different approach from what we're used to seeing.
Satchel out.
Ooh.
I know exactly where you are.
Cute Fat Boy at least gets one here on the eco round, and unfortunately Taiti not able to pick up anything else as he was pushed up short A, so that's going to be another round lost. Now finally, Pretty Boyz should be able to take the lead here, barring any heroics, but in a 2v4 when you're outgunned, it's so difficult to come back.
I think the cheese block is definitely the best gun buddy.
Ooh.
That was a cute little kill there, right through the smoke. Hunter has been killing it. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Hunter, 15. Kill leader of the lobby, 12. Number 2, also on his team. Nice stuff.
Final round here, and it's going to be a light armor buy for Pancakes. We've got 3 ultimates online. Trying to win. They want to tie this up. They've got the showstopper. They can start it all off with that if they wanted to. But I don't know if these are the ultimates you want, right? Oh, that's a pick that you want. There's no Sage Rest for Pretty Boyz either.
Not at all.
Cover going out.
Paranoia miss. And another slowdown. A site heavily defended. Actually, B site has 3 on it. Pretty Boyz with 4 standing. Where do you go? Do you continue the B push or do you wrap back to A?
Oh, we've got the showstopper out.
DJ Cypher. 1 left for Pretty Boyz. And as strongly as they won round number 11, it looks like they might lose round number 12 just as strongly, in all honesty. The Omen player by themselves, locked down.
Yeah, but you gotta imagine trying to win, missed out on an opportunity, right? This could have been like an 8-4 or 9-3 half if they didn't lose that one anti-eco round for themselves, where they ended up giving away two operators. That's where Pretty Boyz were able to swing this back in their favor and basically tie it up here 6-6 as we swap sides. That one anti-eco round could have been massive. As trying to win just needed to have a real big buffer. But we do know that their offense, it's been getting stronger throughout the night. And so we'll see what they have to offer here when we come, when they are now here on the offense.
I always forget the bomb bot has that ooh face.
I mean, this game was designed for weebs.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, well, no, Overwatch was designed for weeb. This is more of the middle ground. This is like appeasing everybody.
That's what they want you to think. And then you see this World of Warcraft ass skin on the pistol, and everything goes away. Tie game here as we hit our secondary pistol round. Everybody coming in hot through the teleporter, and it's 2-for-2 exchange. Mid? No, maybe it's a rotation to A.
Yeah, they don't have to commit on to anything fully quite yet. Oh, just walked right into the crosshair.
Showers 1. Couple coming from Showers, couple coming from main. Great job by the Omen to cut out the sight lines. 2 players alive for offense. Spike goes down. Anderson changes it to 1 player on the spike plant defense. Got to deal with 3 in Pretty Boyz uniforms. TXN by himself. 1, 2, and
Oh,
misses.
he's got the slow orb as well. Oh, why'd you pick?
What do we say in that position? Play for time. Pretty Boyz grab the pistol round. And China Wen comes so close.
He almost had the 1v3. He had the slow orb coming out. He didn't hear the defuse. There was no defuse going on there as well. And so he was under no pressure really, right? I don't remember hearing the defuse if there was one.
I agree. I think there was No pressure. Shouts to Logic. Retiring from music to becoming a Twitch streamer? Interesting. Ooh, mid, heavy push. China Nguyen on the aggressive offensive. Strong Legs, however, is able to answer with a well-placed submachine gun. Here comes the push. All the information. 4 players alive, 4 players in hookah. T-Cop pushing up front with the shorty, blind as a bat. Everybody kind of stuck here in hookah, and that's the problem. Hookah can turn into quick stand. Pretty Boyz doing a great job of defending it. And China Nguyen, go quickly for the rotate. That's where teams get in trouble. They don't go for the rotate quick enough, and they get squashed. This time around, China went up for it, and they're heading towards A.
There you go, clearing out short A. Now they do have to be careful of that player. U-Haul has been a very contentious position.
Bop, bop, bop. 3 in a row. Flawless victory for Pretty Boyz.
It's the third round here, though, that you have to worry about. And so we'll see. Again, with the SMGs in hands, they are going to be outgunned just a little bit. China Nguyen should be able to just full buy up. And now, can they weather this storm? Can they win that, survive that third round curse when we swap sides?
Last time around, we saw a split. Beginning of this map, right? We saw 1 for 1.
Take out Cypher's
This time
shield.
around, we see 2 in the pocket for Pretty Boyz. Will that change? Will we just see the on flush push now? Keep in mind, China Nguyen are the defending champs, looking not to be dethroned. Jumping on in. Big aggressive push here from hookah for China. 1 player coming up long as well. Ooh, all right. They have the info. They know where the Sage player is. And so the backup here from China. It looked like they were going to hit hookah a lot faster than they actually did. They slow it down. They wait their time. And now they execute. 1 for 2. No, it's a 2 for 2. And there's 1 player alive for Pretty Boyz. And a great job by China Nguyen. Not only do they get the kills, they get the plant money. And that will equalize just a little bit. Everybody has guns.
Yeah, it was just that third round curse coming in. And so Pretty Boyz will be able to buy back into this, though. And so we'll see now full rifles versus rifles. But China Nguyen, like you said, once they did get that execute going on to the B site, it came fast. It came furious. It was a typical fashion that we saw. What really characterized their play last week and what we want to see coming into this third map.
Hookah, 2 players defending it. Peek with the bot. Peek with the bot, D-Cop. Plays it slow. Lets the defenders take care of all the nonsense, but has the information that there's 2 defenders, 1 on either side. Has to be careful. The op close doesn't matter. Wins 1, loses the other. Hunter follows up and gets the trade win. So it's a 3 versus 4. Pretty Boyz make that a 2 players, not even. DXN by themselves.
And Stronglegs did so much in there, even though he didn't really, come up in the kill feed as much. He did a lot there. And I think that goes to show like how important it is for Sage's presence over on the B site, how good she is to really help out with the defense over on hookah. She just continued to buy time with that. Also came down to how they played up against that recon owl, right? The owl drone. Yeah. They cleared it so quickly instead of allowing them to get that free information on the corner. And so when China Nguyen make that push, they have to check that corner. They didn't really weren't able to realize that the paranoia doesn't hit that man, and so that was a strong position to be in.
Paranoia is so. I find paranoia has the same issue that Breach's entire kit does, is that it's just so hard to confirm that you've hit somebody. When you play Raze, you know when you make an impact. Pure does so even without the abilities. 3 in a row from the Raze player. Just shooting down Broadway. One player left. Strong legs pushing. Anderson has the secondary angle. Location is known. Pancakes closes the lights. And Pure with the 4 of a kind. Nice stuff. Pretty Boys up by 3 as they hit double digits.
Oh boy, things are starting to look a little bit dicey here. We'll see if China Nguyen can pick up the pace just a little bit. I mean, we were noting that not as fast when they were executing onto the B site, but maybe this time around they can push forward with a bit more aggression, with a bit more speed, instead of allowing Pretty Boys to basically play how they want, where they're a little bit slower. They can play for the post plan as well. They do a good job of, you know, backing off site and giving up ground and waiting for finding a pick or finding the numbers advantage.
Enemy down.
Oh,
Revealing area. There
You
they
will
are.
not kill my allies.
All right. Good res. Ooh. Splits the uprights. China Nguyen playing around that sub ultimate real cleanly. Everybody's in hookah. Raze jumps in first. That's D-Cop playing the entry position. Usually his team's members can capitalize,
exactly
and they do. 3 players standing versus Pretty Boys' 2. Strong Legs cuts it down, so it's even doubles match. Both
pretty sure they saw the slow orb.
Oh! Lined up, cut down. 3 for Strong Legs.
You can't. You can't peek like that.
You can't peek like that.
You just can't.
You just can't.
Oh my god, that hurt to watch.
It really did. Like that's you see that. Oh man, that's what we call a blunder. Like you make that play in silver and you know it's wrong. Man, I don't need to dunk on them. They know that was a mistake, and that's just a feels bad, man. Like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to say about that one. Beautiful plays, beautiful approach. Pure grabs one, and I think that's the end of it. I really do. Pretty Boys. Oh, see? That's what I'm saying. Just an oops, I dropped my satchel charge. Oops. I clicked on a player with an op. Oops. I found him with the sub. Oh, less oops. Let's try that again without the oops. Pretty Boys on tournament point. The challengers looking radiant.
Yeah, and one of the concerns that I had, of course, when we were heading into this map is exactly how they were going to deal with the operator play. We said that, of course, they were just going to try their best to play around it, try to cut out the sight lines, use their utility, and use their executes to make sure that it doesn't have the chance to really get going. But right now, they don't have an answer for it, and that is going to be an issue that they have to shore up eventually. Now, here sitting on match points, Pretty Boys really shutting down the offense, shutting down the tempo of China Nguyen here. There's been almost no answer from them.
Yeah, that round where Pretty Boys got their 11th victory was a little tough.
Oh?
And then the 12th one was just as much. Strong stuff coming out from both sides this round, however. A doubles match. Anderson barely alive.
Deleted.
And now definitely not alive. China Nguyen forcing their way back into this one. 7-12, which isn't crazy. Thinking about a comeback. DXN, Strong Legs versus 2.
We've seen him win these.
Just last round. Drops down. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, they split up. One's good. The second just as good.
The city
China
is safe
Nguyen
around me.
dethroned. Pretty Boyz are your fight night champions.
And what a way to do it, where we start doubting them after map number 2, and when China Nguyen took such a dominant win on Haven here. Pretty Boyz turn the table on them, take the 13-7 victory.
Wow, look at that. I mean, big plays, 3 away from the 30 piece for Pure here. Incredible performance. 20 from Hunter, the player that kind of dropped the ball on map number 2 here, if I can be real honest. Absolutely picks it back up. Good stuff from the Sova. Love the rebound. Pretty Boyz, though, really, really strong stuff. China Nguyen, thank you, loses out on their second week of fight night. All 3 games, really, really impressive matchup. Not something we can always say, frankly, but Pretty Boyz really brought the pain.
Yeah, they really did. And at this point, you know, I think Pretty Boyz, they have a very solid understanding of how to play the game. It's very fundamental. I like to see that. We saw 2 kind of different styles, differing styles, right, coming out. While China Nguyen, of course, a bit more offense oriented, very fast, and that's kind of like what they did a lot of studying around.
Sure.
Their offense just was not what we saw last week. It was not. It just was not. But the defensive style coming out from Pretty Boyz, I think was a treat to see. They had some really great plays coming out. The way that they, again, play very passively, give up ground, play post plant. We're seeing 2 sides of basically what needs to be the same coin that we're seeing out of a lot of the tier 1 teams, right? Having great offense and having great post plants as well, defense and retakes. So I think, you know, because this is, of course, like tier 2, we're seeing developing an emerging talent, that I'm okay with seeing China Nguyen take the loss, because this is a China Nguyen team that I know that they're smart players. I know Decop is a smart player. This is where they're going to look back on tape and they're going to fix up their mistakes. And I want to see them come back a couple weeks from now to see how they improve.
Strong stuff from China Nguyen, stronger stuff from Pretty Boyz, and strong legs to stand on. And that's exactly who we've got with us in the winner's interview. First and foremost, strong legs, congratulations. How you feel, bud?
Hey, thank you, man. I'm feeling great, dude. You know, just a fresh roster. It's nice to get a couple of W's under our belt, and it was a really good game, obviously. So it was it's good, man. Got the blood pumping. Everything's all right. How you guys doing? How was the game from your perspective?
I mean,
it was incredible. Yeah. Some of the things that your players were doing, I mean, you gotta admit that there were some high highs, there were some low lows, and how do you actually kind of navigate that? Where, you know, one round you're like top bragging, you're doing amazing, and then next you're not contributing as much as you would like to. How do you work around that kind of mental reset?
Honestly, the way I focus on it is, performance is more like a wave. Sometimes you're at the top of the wave, sometimes you're at the bottom of the wave. And if I'm at the bottom of the wave, then I just make sure that I'm contributing to my team in other ways. So I'm the IGL, obviously. So for me personally, that last map was a rough one for me in terms of statistics. I came up big on the rounds that I needed to, but my calling was on point. Like the vibes were awesome. I kept the energy up. I made sure to compensate for the fact that I wasn't fragging as well, you know, via comms, making sure my team was cohesive in what they were doing, just compensating in any way I can just to fill the gaps, fill the whatever is required for us to win rounds. Because obviously Pure and Almighty Hunter were going off. So that's really all that we need, really.
I mean, as a shot caller, it's a luxury to kind of have such strong players. 27 kills from the Rays player whose name's escaping me at the moment. That's a big deal. Yeah, Pure looked fantastic there. You mentioned that this was a newer team. Talk to me about the players surrounding you and how strong they can be.
I know this might sound cliche, but I really do believe that this roster, these individual players' skill ceilings are like much higher than what we're seeing currently at the highest end of the pro scene. I genuinely think that with time, with dedication, if people put in the work and the ethic, like there really is nothing stopping us. We just have to go through, we just have to keep correcting things. We just have to keep fixing our mistakes. You know, if something's not working, like obviously we got absolutely spanked on Haven. Like, we had to like revisit our Haven, right? Like what went wrong, review, fix, and just like keep going at it while these guys gain their confidence and gain their match confidence. And as soon as that clicks, man, like I have no doubts. Like I think we have a really good dynamic, and I think it's going to be going pretty well.
If I can ask you to get a little specific here, we all know that Haven obviously didn't go right. You got to watch tape. Trust me, I know how it goes, but anything that comes right off to the top that you guys can fix.
I just think that we were maneuvering information early on CT side incorrectly. I think they were playing very fast-paced and very explosive, and we just weren't able to get the right cues as to what they're doing in time. And by the time we realized what they were doing, like they were already on the bomb site, hitting us with, you know, Phoenixes in our faces with the flashes through the smokes. It was just really difficult for us to fight against that. So I think we just have to figure out ways to, you know, against these types of comps that are like moving really quickly, just to get that forward information as early as possible so that we can move our numbers better and be ready for their hits.
Well said, man. You know, last question, more of a let you go for your thing. You know, I know that you've got a really successful stream out there. You're known for another couple of games, and obviously tonight you really made it strong. Next week you guys will return, but you know, you earned it. Go ahead, plug yourself, bud. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you guys can find myself on Twitter at RealStrongLegs. If you go through my profile, you'll find my teammates as well. I'm not gonna sit here and spell it all out for you, but you'll find us if you go through my Twitter. Besides that, man, just check us out on Twitch, /StrongLegs for myself, /Twifo. I don't think my other teammates stream as much yet, but when they do, I'll be sure to plug them as well, and maybe hopefully next week. But yeah, man, thank you guys for having us. This was a lot of fun. It's a different type of content, and I appreciate the work that you guys are putting in, to be honest.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And hopefully the next time I ask you for your shout outs, you'll have an organization behind you to shout out, because I think you're right. A lot of talent on this team. Congrats again. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You too. Strong legs. Well spoken there. Strong stuff. No surprise he's the shot caller at all, Jamerson.
No, it made so much sense, especially when you're playing that support role, when you're playing that Sage, you have a little bit more luxury to be able to do that, right? You kind of have like different kind of shot calling styles, right? Sometimes it is a little bit more democratic. Your entry fraggers, they get that information, they throw it back to you, and then you have to be able to respond quickly. And it looked like Strong Legs had a great read on it, especially with how fundamentally that they were playing the game. I think fundamentally they weren't making that many mistakes. That it came down to honestly not being able to adapt to a very fast-paced push on Ascent that came out from China Win. And so you can't fault anyone for that. This is a style that, you know, a lot of teams are starting to learn how to play against. It's going to take a lot more to really try to figure out how to respond as quickly. And I don't think you can. And so you can't really beat yourself up. And I love how, you know, he also answered that question to how do you reset the mental? And it's just to compensate by contributing in other ways.
Yeah, and he absolutely did. And, you know, Sage player, IGL support, also hit the top frag in one of those games. Just got to point it out. Really excited for the future of Pretty Boyz. Again, they'll be returning next week on Fight Night. We do this every Tuesday. We do Collegiate every Monday as well. We have a rematch last night. Unfortunately, Riot servers went down, so we have a redo. We'll see that go on next Monday. Then we're back at it at Pro Fight Night on Tuesday. But that's going to do it for us here. Shouts to everybody at Wisdom that puts on GiantSlayer, Valorant, and Fight Night. Jamerson, it's always been a pleasure. Any last words before we go?
Yeah, just looking forward to that collegiate. Hopefully we can get that going on Monday. And of course, just again, more new talent continually cropping up. And I love seeing it, especially just because of how much of a mix mash a lot of these rosters are coming from all sorts of backgrounds. And so we're seeing different kinds of approaches on how to play the game. And so we're not in sort of any kind of like, we're still in the sandbox, I want to say, you know, in terms of like how this game is being played. So really exciting times for Valorant right now.
We're all figuring it out. Everything's up in the air. The only thing for sure is that we'll be here on Tuesday. We'll catch you next week. Peace and much love to you.